Victoria Whitmore stood in the trash room at 2:31 a.m., her silk robe splattered with blood, her hands trembling as she lowered the black garbage bag into the compactor bin. The baby inside whimpered weakly. She whispered through clenched teeth, "You were never supposed to exist." She shoved the bag deeper, buried it under pizza boxes and coffee grounds, then wiped her hands on her $15,000 robe and walked away. 16 minutes later, a black housekeeper named Gloria Jenkins would hear a cry that would change everything. A cry that would expose the darkest secrets of Atlanta's most powerful family. A cry that would prove one truth: the wealthy always forget you cannot throw away a human life and expect God not to send someone to find it. If you believe in stories about courage, justice, and the power of ordinary people doing extraordinary things, subscribe to this channel and stay with me until the very end. Drop a comment telling me what city you're watching from. I want to see how far this story travels. Now let me tell you what happened next. Part 1. The Discovery. Gloria Jenkins stopped pushing her cleaning cart. Something was wrong. After 9 years of overnight shifts at the Monarch Towers, she knew every sound this building made. The hum of elevators, the whisper of air conditioning, the distant clang of pipes settling. But this sound was different. This sound made her blood freeze. A cry, weak, desperate, human. She held her breath and listened. Nothing, just the building breathing around her. Gloria shook her head. 54 years old and hearing things. She needed sleep. She needed to finish this shift and get home to Jalen before he woke up for school. She started pushing the cart again. The cry came back, louder this time, coming from the trash compactor room at the end of the service hallway. Gloria's hands went cold on the cart handle. "Lord Jesus," she whispered. "What is that?" She walked faster. Her rubber-soled shoes squeaked against marble that cost more per square foot than her monthly rent. The Monarch Towers was Atlanta's most exclusive address. 40 floors of wealth so extreme it made Gloria dizzy just thinking about it. She had cleaned these hallways for 9 years, invisible to everyone, a ghost in a gray uniform who appeared at night and disappeared before sunrise. But right now, something in this building needed her. She reached the trash room door. The smell hit her first. Garbage, decay, and something else underneath. Something metallic. Something like blood. Gloria pushed open the door. Trash bags everywhere, piled high, overflowing. The wealthy residents threw away more food in one night than Gloria's family ate in a week. Wine bottles, takeout containers, designer shopping bags, all the debris of lives that had too much of everything. The cry came again. Gloria's eyes locked onto movement in the corner. One black garbage bag half buried under others was shifting slightly, rising and falling. "Oh God, oh my God, no!" She ran across the room and dropped to her knees. Her hands shook so badly she could barely grip the plastic. She tore at the bag, her fingernails breaking the thick material fighting her. Inside was another bag. She ripped that one too. A baby, a newborn baby wrapped in a blood-stained cashmere blanket, his tiny face gray-blue, his lips purple, his chest barely moving. Gloria's heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. "No, no, no, baby, no." She pulled him from the garbage and pressed him against her chest. He was cold, ice cold. His small body had almost no warmth left. "You stay with me. You hear me. You stay right here with me." The baby whimpered, a thin sound more gasp than cry, but it meant he was alive. Barely. Gloria opened her work jacket and tucked him inside against her skin. Her body heat was the only thing that could save him now. She held him tight, feeling his tiny heart flutter against hers, willing her warmth into his failing body. Then she saw the blanket. Even covered in blood and garbage, she recognized the quality. Cashmere. The kind of fabric she had never owned, only touched when folding laundry for residents. And there in the corner, embroidered in gold thread, was a single letter. W. Gloria stopped breathing. W for Whitmore. The family in the penthouse. The $15 million apartment on the 40th floor. Marcus Whitmore, tech billionaire. His wife, Victoria Charity Queen. Their faces were on magazine covers. Their names were whispered with reverence throughout Atlanta's elite circles. This was their baby. Someone had thrown a Whitmore baby in the trash. Gloria's mind raced. Call 911. That's what a normal person would do. Call for help. Let professionals handle this nightmare. But Gloria was not in a normal situation. She was a black woman standing in a trash room at 3 in the morning holding a white billionaire's dying baby. She had a record, a stupid misdemeanor from 20 years ago when she was young and desperate. She was raising her 12-year-old grandson alone after her daughter died from an overdose. This job was everything. This job paid for Jalen's school clothes and basketball shoes and the food on their table. If she called police, they would come with sirens and questions and suspicious looks. They would see what she was. A black housekeeper. A woman with a past. A convenient suspect. Gloria had lived 54 years in America. She knew exactly how these stories ended for women who looked like her. But the baby gasped against her chest, fighting for every breath, and Gloria made her choice. His life mattered more than her fear. "Okay, baby, Grandma's got you. We're getting out of here." She turned toward the door. A sound stopped her cold. Footsteps. Coming down the hallway. Getting closer. Gloria pressed herself against the wall, her heart pounding so hard she thought it might wake the whole building. The footsteps stopped right outside the trash room door. A shadow fell across the crack of light at the bottom. She held her breath. The baby stirred against her chest. "Please don't cry. Please, baby. Please don't cry." 3 seconds passed. 5. 10. An eternity. The footsteps moved away, fading down the hallway. Gone. Gloria exhaled. Her whole body was shaking. She had to move. Now. Before whoever that was came back. She crept to the door and opened it slowly. The hallway was empty. Her cleaning cart sat where she had left it, abandoned and accusing. Her phone was in that cart, her purse, her lifeline. Gloria moved fast. She grabbed her phone and purse, leaving everything else behind. The service elevator was 20 feet away. She pressed the button and waited, watching both ends of the hallway, expecting someone to appear at any moment. The elevator doors opened. She stepped inside and jabbed the button for the loading dock. As the doors started to close, a voice called out, "Ms. Jenkins!" Gloria's blood turned to ice. Derek, the night security guard, was walking toward the elevator. His flashlight beam cut through the hallway. His eyes were fixed on her. "You're leaving early tonight." Gloria forced her voice to stay calm. "Not feeling well. Stomach problems." Derek reached the elevator just as the doors were closing. He stuck his hand in to stop them. The doors bounced back open. He stood there looking at her, his eyes dropping to her jacket, bulging unnaturally against her chest. "What you got there?" Gloria's heart stopped. "Think fast. Think fast. My lunch bag. Forgot to eat." Derek stared at her. His flashlight beam moved to her jacket. The baby shifted slightly underneath. "Don't cry." "Please, baby, please." Derek's radio crackled. A voice came through saying something about a resident on the 20th floor needing assistance with a locked door. He glanced at his radio, then back at Gloria. "You sure you're okay? You look scared." "Just sick. Need to get home." Another crackle from the radio, the voice more insistent now. Derek stepped back. "Feel better, Ms. Jenkins. Take care of yourself." The doors closed. Gloria nearly collapsed against the elevator wall. Her whole body was trembling. The baby whimpered softly against her chest. "It's okay," she whispered. "It's okay. We're almost out." The elevator reached the loading dock. Gloria pushed through the back door and stepped into the cold October night. The air hit her face like a slap. She held the baby tighter, shielding him from the wind. She needed a taxi, an Uber, anything. She pulled out her phone and opened the app. Her hands were shaking so badly she could barely type. Grady Memorial Hospital. Request ride. Estimated arrival 8 minutes. The baby might not have 8 minutes. Gloria started walking toward the street, moving as fast as her 54-year-old knees would allow. Every shadow made her jump. Every sound made her turn around. She felt like someone was watching her, like the whole city knew what she was carrying. A black SUV appeared at the intersection ahead. It stopped in the middle of the street, headlights blazing, engine running, just sitting there. Gloria ducked into a bus stop shelter, pressing her back against the plastic wall. Her heart was pounding so hard she could hear it in her ears. The SUV sat there for 30 seconds, watching, waiting. Then it pulled away and disappeared around a corner. Gloria's phone buzzed. Her Uber was arriving in 2 minutes. A silver Toyota appeared 60 seconds later. The driver was a young black man, maybe 25, wearing a Falcons cap. He looked at Gloria through the passenger window. "You, Gloria?" "Yes, please. We need to go fast. Emergency." She climbed into the back seat. The driver glanced at her through the rearview mirror. His eyes went to the bundle against her chest. "Is that a baby?" "Yes, Grady Memorial. Please drive." He didn't move. "Ma'am, is that your baby?" Gloria leaned forward. Her voice dropped hard. "Young man, this baby is dying. Right now. Every second you waste is a second closer to him never opening his eyes. You can ask questions while you drive, but you are going to drive. Do you understand?" The driver stared at her. Something in her eyes must have convinced him. He put the car in gear and pulled away fast enough to make the tires squeal. "Hold on," he said. "I know a shortcut." They flew through the empty streets of Atlanta, running yellow lights, taking corners too fast. The driver had transformed from suspicious stranger to emergency responder in the span of 10 seconds. Gloria's phone rang. The screen showed a photo of Jalen, her grandson, his gap-toothed smile frozen in time from 2 years ago. She answered with shaking hands. "Baby, why are you awake?" "Grandma, I had a bad dream. I went to your room, but you weren't there." "I'm still at work, baby. Something happened. I'll be home soon." "You sound scared. Are you scared?" Gloria closed her eyes. This boy knew her too well. He had her daughter's eyes, her daughter's intuition. He saw right through her every single time. "A little bit, baby, but I did something good tonight. Something that matters." "Like what?" "I saved someone's life." Silence on the other end. Then Jalen's voice, small but proud. "That's my grandma." Gloria felt tears slide down her cheeks. "Go back to bed, baby. I'll be home soon. I love you more than anything." "Love you too, Grandma. Be careful." She hung up. The driver was watching her in the rearview mirror. "That your grandson?" "Yes." "How old?" 12? "Soon." The driver nodded slowly. "My grandma raised me too, after my mama passed." He paused. "You really saved someone tonight." Gloria looked down at the baby in her arms. His color was better, still pale, but no longer that terrifying gray-blue. Her body heat was working. He was fighting. "I'm trying to, she said. "I'm really trying to." They pulled up to Grady Memorial 8 minutes later. The driver stopped right at the emergency entrance, ignoring every sign, ignoring the security guard walking toward them. "Go," he said. "I'll handle this." Gloria pushed open the door. "Thank you. God bless you." "God bless you, ma'am. Whatever you're doing, I hope it works." Gloria ran. Her bad knees screamed. Her back spasmed. She didn't care. She burst through the emergency room doors and into chaos. "I need help," she shouted. "This baby needs help now." Heads turned. A nurse at the triage desk stood up immediately. She was a big woman, maybe 40, with kind eyes and braided hair. Her name tag said Denise. "Ma'am, what's the situation?" Gloria reached the desk and opened her jacket. Denise's eyes went wide. Her hand slammed down on a red button. "Code Blue Pediatric Emergency! Code Blue!" Everything happened fast. Doctors appeared from nowhere. Nurses wheeled out a small transport incubator. Hands reached for the baby, gently lifting him from Gloria's arms. She didn't want to let go. After 45 minutes of holding him, he felt like part of her. "It's okay," Denise said softly. "We've got him. You did good." She paused, looking at Gloria closely. "Where did you find him?" "In the trash, at the Monarch Towers on Peachtree. Someone threw him away like garbage." Denise's face hardened. "In the trash, wrapped in a blanket, a fancy blanket with a W on it. He was almost dead." The medical team was already rushing the baby through a set of double doors. Gloria watched them go, her arms empty her chest, cold without his warmth. A young doctor with wire-rimmed glasses stopped beside her. "Ma'am, we're going to do everything we can, but I need to know, how long was he in the cold?" "I don't know. I found him at 2:47. Maybe he was there 30 minutes, maybe longer." The doctor's expression flickered. Something passed behind his eyes. Worry, fear. "What?" Gloria demanded. "What is it?" "Hypothermia in newborns can cause brain damage if it goes too long. We won't know for a few hours if there's any permanent harm." He put his hand on her shoulder. "You got him here as fast as anyone could. Whatever happens, you gave him a chance." He disappeared through the double doors. Gloria stood there alone in the emergency room, surrounded by strangers and fluorescent lights and the smell of antiseptic. Her whole body was trembling. She walked to a plastic chair and sat down hard. "Ma'am," Denise appeared beside her. "The police are going to need to talk to you. This is a crime scene now. Someone tried to kill that baby." Gloria nodded. She had known this was coming. There was no avoiding it. "Can I call someone first?" "My grandson is home alone." "Of course, take your time. They'll be here in about 20 minutes. Gloria pulled out her phone and called Mrs. Patterson, the 70-year-old widow who lived 2 doors down. The phone rang 4 times. "Hello?" A groggy voice. "Mrs. Patterson, it's Gloria. I'm so sorry to wake you. Something happened at work. I'm at the hospital. Can you go check on Jalen?" "Lord, Gloria, are you hurt? What happened?" "I'm not hurt. I found a baby in the trash at the building. Someone threw away a newborn baby. I brought him to the hospital." Silence. Then Mrs. Patterson's voice, sharp and clear, despite the hour. "You found a baby in the trash, Gloria Jenkins. What in God's name is going on?" "I don't know, but the police are coming. I need you to make sure Jalen gets to school. Can you do that for me?" course I can. You stay safe, you hear me, and you call me the minute you know anything." "I will, thank you. God bless you." Gloria hung up and sat in the plastic chair staring at the double doors where they had taken the baby. 30 minutes ago, she had been pushing a cleaning cart thinking about nothing more than getting through another shift. Now she was sitting in an emergency room covered in blood and garbage, waiting for police to question her about a billionaire's baby. Her phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. "You should have minded your own business." Gloria's heart stopped. She stared at the screen, her hands shaking. She looked around the emergency room. People sat in chairs holding wounds, coughing, sleeping. No one was watching her. No one looked suspicious. Another text came through. "We know who you are. We know where you live. We know about Jalen." Gloria felt ice spread through her veins. Jalen. They knew about Jalen. They were threatening her grandson. She started to type a response, but a third text appeared. "Keep your mouth shut and nothing happens. Talk to police and you'll regret it." Gloria's finger hovered over the screen. Her mind was racing. Someone knew she had taken the baby. Someone was watching her. Someone was threatening her family. She should show these texts to the police. That's what a smart person would do. Hand over the evidence. Let the professionals handle it. But these people knew where she lived. They knew about Jalen. They knew everything. Gloria deleted the texts. Her hands were trembling as she put the phone back in her pocket. She had never felt more alone in her life. She had never felt more afraid. The emergency room doors opened. 2 police officers walked in. One was a black man, older, maybe 50, with gray at his temples. His name tag said Officer Terrence Williams. The other was white, younger, with sharp eyes that seemed to take in everything at once. Officer Hendricks. They walked straight to Gloria. "Ma'am, I'm Officer Williams. My partner is Officer Hendricks. We understand you found an abandoned infant tonight." Gloria stood up. Her legs felt weak. The deleted texts burned in her mind like acid. "Yes, sir. I found him in the trash room at the Monarch Towers. I'm a housekeeper there." Officer Williams pulled out a notepad. "Can you tell us exactly what happened? Start from the beginning." Gloria told them almost everything. The sound she heard, the trash room, the garbage bags, the baby wrapped in cashmere with the gold W, the cold blue skin, the drive to the hospital. She did not tell them about the texts. She did not tell them someone was threatening her grandson. Officer Hendricks spoke up. "You said there was a W on the blanket. Do you know what that stands for? Whitmore, the family in the penthouse, Marcus Whitmore, the tech billionaire." The 2 officers exchanged a look. Gloria saw something pass between them. Recognition. Concern. Maybe fear. "You work in that building how long?" Officer Williams asked. 9 years? "Any problems? Complaints? On issues with residents or management?" "No, sir. Perfect record. I show up, I do my job, I go home." Officer Hendricks wrote something in his notepad. "And you've had contact with the Whitmore family specifically?" "Never. They have private staff. I've never been on the 40th floor." "But you knew about them, knew who they were." Gloria felt something shift in the conversation. The questions were becoming pointed, probing. "Everyone knows who they are. Their name is everywhere." Officer Williams leaned closer. "Ms. Jenkins, I'm going to be straight with you. A baby was found in the trash at one of the most exclusive buildings in Atlanta. That baby belongs to one of the wealthiest families in the state. This is going to be a big case. A lot of attention, a lot of pressure." Gloria met his eyes. "I understand. We need you to tell us the truth. The whole truth. Because if we find out later that you left something out, it's going to look bad. Real bad." Gloria thought about the texts on her phone, the threats, the mention of Jalen's name. "I've told you everything I know," she said. Officer Williams studied her for a long moment. Gloria held his gaze. She had nothing to hide about finding the baby. She had only hidden the threats against her family. "Okay," Williams said finally. "We're going to need you to stay available for further questioning. Don't leave town. We'll be in touch." "Am I in trouble?" The question came out before she could stop it. Officer Williams' expression softened, just slightly. "No, ma'am. You're not in trouble. You saved that baby's life, but this investigation is just getting started. Things are going to get complicated before they get clear." The officers left to go to the Monarch Towers. Crime scene tape would be going up. Evidence would be collected. The machinery of justice would start grinding. Gloria sat back down in her plastic chair and waited. An hour passed. Nurses came and went. The emergency room shifted around her patients arriving and leaving the endless cycle of a city hospital. Gloria didn't move. She couldn't leave until she knew the baby was okay. Finally, a young doctor emerged through the double doors. The same one with wire-rimmed glasses who had spoken to her earlier. He looked around the waiting room and walked straight to her. "Ms. Jenkins." Gloria stood fast. "The baby, is he okay?" The doctor smiled, a real smile. "He's going to be fine. You got him here just in time. Another 30 minutes and we would have lost him." Gloria felt her knees buckle. She sat back down hard, her hand pressing against her chest. "Thank God, thank God." "He's in the NICU now, warming up, breathing on his own, starting to respond to everything around him." The doctor paused. "He's a fighter, and he's alive because of you." "Can I see him?" The doctor hesitated. "Normally we don't allow non-family visitors, but given the circumstances..." He looked at Gloria's face at the tears running down her cheeks. "5 minutes. Come with me." He led her through the double doors, down a quiet hallway, and into the neonatal intensive care unit. The room was filled with soft sounds. Machines humming. Monitors beeping. The quiet rhythm of tiny lives being protected. And there, in a clear plastic incubator surrounded by tubes and wires, lay the baby she had pulled from the trash. He was beautiful. His skin had returned to its normal color. Pink cheeks. 10 tiny fingers. 10 tiny toes. His chest rose and fell in steady rhythm. Gloria put her hand on the incubator. She couldn't touch him through the plastic, but she wanted him to know she was there. "You're gonna be okay," she whispered. "You hear me, God's got you, and Grandma's got you too." The baby stirred. His eyes opened. Dark eyes, deep and ancient. He looked at her like he could see straight into her soul. "That's right, baby. You look at me. You remember my face. I'm the one who found you. I'm the one who's going to make sure you're safe." His eyes closed again. He slept, peaceful, alive. The doctor touched Gloria's shoulder. 5 minutes is up. I'm sorry." Gloria nodded. She took one last look at the baby, burning his image into her memory. Then she turned and walked back to the waiting room. Her phone buzzed again. Another text from the unknown number. "Last warning. Keep your mouth shut." Gloria stared at the screen. Fear gripped her chest like a fist, but underneath the fear something else was growing. Something hot. Something fierce. She had held that baby against her heart. She had felt his desperate fight for life. She had seen the cashmere blanket with the golden W proof that wealth and power didn't make people decent, didn't make them human. Someone had thrown that child away like trash. Someone was now threatening Gloria and her grandson to keep the secret buried. Gloria Jenkins had been invisible her whole life. A ghost in a gray uniform. A woman that wealthy people looked through without seeing. But not anymore. She typed a response to the unknown number. "I don't know who you are, but I found that baby. I saved his life, and I'm not going to let you hurt him again." She hit send. 3 dots appeared showing someone was typing a response. Then they disappeared. No message came. Gloria deleted the conversation again. She put her phone in her pocket. Her hands were steady now. Her fear was still there, but it had been joined by something stronger. Resolve. She walked out of the hospital into the morning light. The sun was rising over Atlanta, painting the sky pink and gold. A new day. A new chapter. Somewhere in this city, powerful people were waking up to discover their secrets were about to be exposed. Somewhere, a woman named Victoria Whitmore was realizing that the problem she thought she had eliminated was very much alive. And somewhere, a 12-year-old boy named Jalen was getting ready for school, not knowing that his grandmother had just become the most dangerous woman in Atlanta. Gloria Jenkins had made her choice in that trash room. She had chosen to save a life. She had chosen to fight. Now she would have to live with that choice, no matter what it cost her. The bus arrived 10 minutes later. Gloria climbed on, swiped her transit card, and found a seat in the back. Her body screamed for sleep. Her mind wouldn't stop racing. She pulled out her phone and looked at the photo of Jalen on her lock screen. His gap-toothed smile, his bright eyes, her reason for everything. "I'm going to protect you, baby," she thought, "whatever it takes. I'm going to protect you and that little boy in the hospital. I'm going to find out who did this, and I'm going to make them pay." The bus rumbled through the morning traffic. Gloria leaned her head against the window and watched the city wake up around her. She didn't know what was coming. She didn't know who was behind the threats. She didn't know how deep this nightmare went. But she knew one thing. She had saved a baby's life. And she wasn't done fighting. Not by a long shot. Gloria didn't sleep. She couldn't. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the baby's gray-blue face. She heard his weak cry. She felt the weight of those threatening texts pressing against her chest like a stone. By 7:30 a.m., she had showered, changed into clean clothes, and made breakfast for Jalen. He came into the kitchen, rubbing his eyes, still half asleep. "Grandma, you look tired." "Long night, baby. Eat your eggs." Jalen sat down at the table. He watched her with those knowing eyes that reminded her so much of his mother. "You said you saved someone's life. What happened?" Gloria poured him a glass of orange juice. Her hands were steady, but inside she was shaking. "I found a baby at work. Someone left him in a bad place. I took him to the hospital." "A baby?" Jalen's eyes went wide. "Like a real baby. Real as you and me. Is he okay?" Gloria sat down across from him. "The doctors say he's going to be fine." Jalen was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "That's why you sounded scared on the phone. Not because of the baby, because of something else." Gloria felt her heart crack. This boy was too smart, too perceptive. He saw everything she tried to hide. "There are some people who don't want me to talk about what I found," she said carefully. "Bad people, but you don't need to worry about that. I'm going to handle it." "Are we in danger?" The question hit Gloria like a punch to the stomach. She reached across the table and took his hand. "Nobody is going to hurt you, I promise. I would never let that happen." Jalen squeezed her hand. "I know, Grandma. I know you wouldn't." Patterson arrived at 8:00 to walk Jalen to the bus stop. Gloria hugged her grandson tight before he left, holding him longer than usual. "Be safe," she whispered. "Come straight home after school." "I will. Love you, Grandma." "Love you more, baby." She watched him walk down the street with Mrs. Patterson, his backpack bouncing against his shoulders. He looked so small, so vulnerable. Gloria felt terror grip her heart. What have I gotten us into? Her phone rang. Unknown number. Gloria's blood went cold. She answered anyway. "Ms. Jenkins, this is Detective Denise Carter, Atlanta Police Department. I've been assigned to the Whitmore case. I need you to come to the station this morning for additional questioning." Gloria let out a breath. Not the people who had threatened her, just the police. "What time? Can you be here by 10 Mubra? I'll be there." She hung up and stared at her phone. The police wanted to talk to her again. The mysterious people wanted her to stay silent. And somewhere in a hospital across the city, a baby was fighting to survive because his own family had thrown him away. Gloria Jenkins had been invisible her whole life, but not anymore. Now everyone wanted a piece of her. She grabbed her purse and headed out the door. The police station was chaos. Reporters crowded the entrance cameras, flashing microphones thrust forward like weapons. Gloria pushed through them, ignoring the shouted questions. "Ma'am, are you connected to the Whitmore case? Did you find the baby? What can you tell us about the investigation?" Gloria kept her head down and walked faster. A uniformed officer held the door open for her and blocked the reporters from following. "Ms. Jenkins, Detective Carter is expecting you. 3rd floor, room 312. She took the elevator up, her stomach churning with every floor. The doors opened onto a hallway buzzing with activity. Officers moved with purpose. Phones rang constantly. Someone was shouting in an interrogation room down the hall. Gloria found room 312 and knocked. "Come in?" Detective Denise Carter was not what Gloria expected. She was a black woman, maybe 45, with sharp eyes and natural hair pulled back in a professional style. She wore a simple blazer and slacks. No jewelry except a wedding ring. She looked like someone who had fought for every inch of respect she had earned. "Ms. Jenkins, please sit down. Thank you for coming." Gloria sat in the hard plastic chair across from the detective's desk. "You said you had more questions." "I do, but first I want to show you something." Detective Carter turned her computer monitor so Gloria could see. On the screen was a photograph of a young black woman, maybe 25, with braids and a nervous smile. "Do you recognize her?" Gloria shook her head. "No, who is she?" "Her name is Keisha Brown. She worked as a receptionist at Whitmore Industries until 8 months ago. She came forward this morning claiming she had a relationship with Marcus Whitmore. She says he got her pregnant, then fired her and paid her $100,000 to sign a non-disclosure agreement." Gloria felt her stomach drop. A relationship with the billionaire? That's what she says, and she's not the only one. Detective Carter clicked to another photograph. This one showed a young white woman, blonde, with too much makeup and designer clothes that looked borrowed. "Amber Hayes, Instagram model. She says Marcus flew her to Miami, showered her with gifts, then ghosted her when she thought she might be pregnant. She had an abortion. She has texts, photos, hotel receipts." Another click. Another photograph. This time Gloria's breath caught in her throat. The woman on the screen was Latina, maybe 28, with dark hair and haunted eyes. She looked like someone who had seen too much pain, someone who had been broken and was trying to put herself back together. "This is Destiny Williams. She worked as a housekeeper at the Monarch Towers until 3 months ago. Same building as you, Ms. Jenkins, different shift." Gloria leaned forward. I've heard that name. Some of the other staff mentioned her, said she got fired suddenly. No one knew why. Detective Carter's expression hardened. She says Marcus Whitmore raped her in his penthouse while she was cleaning. When she reported it to building management, she was fired the same day. No investigation, no police report. Gloria's hands clenched into fists. They fired her for reporting a rape? That's what she claims, and there's more. The detective paused. She says she was pregnant when they fired her. She gave birth alone 3 weeks ago in a shelter in the Bronx. A baby boy. She named him Marcus Jr. The room started spinning. Gloria grabbed the edge of the desk to steady herself. 3 weeks ago, that baby I found. We're running DNA tests right now, but Ms. Jenkins' destiny. Williams claims that 2 days after she gave birth, someone stole her baby from the shelter. She says a man in a suit came to her, promised money and a green card if she gave up the child. When she refused, she woke up the next morning and her baby was gone. Gloria felt rage building in her chest. Hot, fierce, unstoppable. Someone stole her baby and threw him in the trash. That's what we're trying to determine. But here's where it gets complicated. Detective Carter leaned back in her chair. Destiny Williams is undocumented. She's terrified of being deported. She didn't go to the police when her baby was taken because she thought they would arrest her. Gloria thought about her own fears last night. Her own hesitation to call 911. The same terror that had gripped Destiny had gripped her. Where is she now? Downstairs, giving a statement. She came forward when she heard about the baby on the news. She says she knew immediately it was her son. A mother would know, Gloria said softly. A mother always knows. Detective Carter studied her for a long moment. Ms. Jenkins, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest with me. Gloria met her eyes. I've been honest about everything. Have you received any threats since last night? Any unusual phone calls? Any contact from anyone connected to the Whitmore family? Gloria's heart stopped. The texts, the warnings, the mention of Jalen's name. She should tell the truth. She knew she should. But those people knew where she lived. They knew about her grandson. If she talked and something happened to Jalen... No, Gloria said. Nothing like that. Detective Carter's eyes narrowed slightly. She didn't believe her. Gloria could see it, but she didn't push. Okay, if that changes, I need you to tell me immediately. This case is getting bigger by the hour. Powerful people are involved. The kind of people who make problems disappear. I understand. I hope you do, Ms. Jenkins, because you're right in the middle of this now, whether you want to be or not. A knock on the door interrupted them. A young officer stuck his head in. Detective, we found him. Marcus Whitmore. He was trying to board a private plane at Peachtree DeKalb Airport, trying to flee to the Cayman Islands. Detective Carter stood up fast. Is he in custody? On his way here now. ETA 15 minutes. The detective grabbed her jacket. Ms. Jenkins, stay here. I may need you for a lineup identification. Identification? I told you I never met Marcus Whitmore. No, but you were in that building last night. You might have seen something without realizing it. Stay here. Detective Carter rushed out. Gloria sat alone in the office, her mind racing. Marcus Whitmore had been trying to flee the country. An innocent man doesn't run. An innocent man doesn't try to escape to a place with no extradition treaty. He knew something, maybe everything. 20 minutes later, Detective Carter returned. Her expression was grim. Come with me. I want you to see something. She led Gloria down a hallway to a room with a large window. On the other side of the glass was an interrogation room. Marcus Whitmore sat at a metal table, his expensive suit wrinkled, his face unshaven, his eyes wild with panic. He looked nothing like the confident billionaire on magazine covers. He looked like a trapped animal. Can he see us? Gloria asked. No, one-way glass. Just watch. Listen. A male detective entered the interrogation room and sat across from Marcus. His voice came through a speaker in the observation room. Mr. Whitmore, I'm Detective Frank Morrison. You've been read your rights. Your lawyer is on the way. But I want to give you a chance to tell your side of the story before this gets worse. Marcus laughed bitterly. Worse? How could it possibly get worse? My face is all over the news. My company stock's crashing. My wife won't answer my calls. Tell me, detective, how exactly does this get worse? The DNA results came back. The baby found in the trash at your building is biologically yours. The mother is Destiny Williams, a woman who claims you raped her. Marcus's face went pale. I didn't rape anyone. Destiny and I had a consensual relationship. She wanted money. I gave her money. End of story. She says you forced yourself on her while she was cleaning your apartment. She's lying. She's a lying, scheming little... Marcus stopped himself. He took a deep breath. She wanted a payday. I gave her one. $50,000 to sign an NDA and disappear. That's all it was. And the baby? I didn't know about any baby until 2 days ago. I swear to God, I had no idea she was pregnant. But you found out 2 days ago, and then what? Marcus went silent. His eyes darted around the room. Gloria watched him through the glass, saw the calculation behind his fear. My lawyer advised me not to answer any questions without him present. That's your right, but I'm going to tell you what I think happened, Marcus. I think your wife found out about Destiny's baby. I think she hired someone to take that child from the shelter. I think she brought him back to your building with some plan to pass him off as your heir. And I think when you found out, you panicked. You told her to get rid of the problem, to make it disappear. Marcus's face twisted. That's insane. Victoria would never what? Wouldn't be desperate enough to steal a baby after years of fertility treatments failed. Wouldn't be angry enough to hurt the evidence of your affair. Wouldn't be capable of putting an infant in a trash bag when she realized what she had done. You're putting words in my mouth. I want my lawyer, now. Detective Morrison stood up. Your lawyer will be here soon, but Marcus, let me give you some advice. The walls are closing in. We have 3 women who've come forward with accusations against you. We have DNA evidence. We have your attempted flight. And we have a baby who almost died in a garbage can. Someone is going to pay for this. The question is whether it's going to be you or whether you're going to help us find the real monster in this story. He walked out, leaving Marcus alone in the interrogation room. Gloria turned to Detective Carter. Do you believe him, that he didn't know about the baby? I think he's a liar, but I also think he might not be the one who put that baby in the trash. His panic seems genuine. He's afraid of something, or someone. His wife? Victoria Whitmore is still in Savannah. She claims she's been there for a week, but her alibi is shaky. No witnesses, no credit card receipts, just her word. What happens now? Detective Carter's phone buzzed. She looked at the screen, and her expression changed. Now things get interesting. Victoria Whitmore just walked into the lobby downstairs. She wants to make a statement. They took the elevator down to the first floor. The lobby was packed with officers, lawyers, reporters trying to peer through the windows. In the center of it all stood Victoria Whitmore. She looked exactly like the society pages. Perfect blonde hair, perfect makeup, perfect designer dress. But her eyes were red from crying and her hands wouldn't stop shaking. When she saw Gloria, Victoria froze. Their eyes met across the crowded lobby. Something passed between them. Recognition. Understanding. Fear. Victoria walked toward her. Detective Carter stepped in front of Gloria protectively. Mrs. Whitmore, you need to come with me for questioning. In a moment. Victoria's voice was steady despite the trembling in her hands. I need to speak to her first. That's not appropriate given the circumstances. Please. Victoria's composure cracked. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Please, just 1 minute. I need her to know something. Detective Carter hesitated. She looked at Gloria. Gloria nodded slowly. It's okay. Let her talk. Victoria stepped closer. Her voice dropped to a whisper. I know what you did. You saved him. You saved that baby when I... She couldn't finish the sentence. I need you to know that I never meant for him to die. I never wanted that. I couldn't think. I couldn't breathe. Everything was falling apart, and I just wanted it to stop. Gloria's blood ran cold. What are you saying? I'm saying I'm sorry. I'm saying that baby deserves better than what any of us gave him, and I'm saying... Victoria looked around at the officers, the cameras, the chaos. I'm saying I'm going to tell the truth. All of it. No matter what it costs me. Detective Carter stepped forward. Mrs. Whitmore, anything you say can and will be used against you in court. I strongly advise you to wait for your attorney. I don't want an attorney. I want to confess. The lobby went silent. Everyone stopped moving. Everyone stopped breathing. Victoria Whitmore straightened her spine. When she spoke again, her voice carried across the entire room. I'm the one who put that baby in the trash, and I'm ready to tell you why. Detective Carter grabbed her arm gently but firmly. Mrs. Whitmore, come with me, now. She led Victoria toward the interrogation rooms. As they walked past Victoria turned back one more time. Take care of him, she said. The baby. Make sure he goes to someone who will love him, someone like you. Then she was gone, disappearing down the hallway, surrounded by officers. Gloria stood in the lobby, her whole body trembling. She had just watched a billionaire's wife confess to attempted murder in front of dozens of witnesses. She had just heard Victoria Whitmore admit to throwing a newborn baby in the garbage. And Victoria had asked her to protect that child. Miss Jenkins. An officer touched her arm. Are you okay? Do you need to sit down? Gloria shook her head. I need to make a phone call. She walked outside, pushing through the reporters, ignoring their questions. She found a quiet spot near the parking lot and pulled out her phone. She called the hospital. Grady Memorial, how may I direct your call? The NICU, please. The baby brought in last night. The abandoned infant. Hold, please. Music played. Gloria waited. Her heart pounded. NICU Nurse Denise speaking. This is Gloria Jenkins. I'm the one who brought in the baby last night. Is he okay? Ms. Jenkins? Yes, he's doing wonderfully. Eating well, gaining weight. The doctors are very pleased. Gloria felt tears streaming down her face. Thank God, thank God. Ma'am, are you all right? I just needed to know he's safe. Everything here it's a lot. I just needed to hear he's okay. He's more than okay, Ms. Jenkins. He's thriving, and it's because of you. Gloria hung up and stood in the parking lot crying. Relief, fear, exhaustion, everything poured out of her at once. Her phone buzzed, another text from an unknown number. You think it's over, it's just beginning. We know about the phone. Destiny's phone. The one she dropped when we took the baby. Find it before the police do, or your grandson pays the price. Gloria's tears stopped instantly. Her blood turned to ice. Destiny's phone. Something on that phone could expose whoever had really orchestrated this nightmare, and they wanted Gloria to find it and destroy it. They were using her fear for Jalen to make her an accomplice. Gloria stared at the text. Her hands shook, her mind raced. She could go to Detective Carter. Show her the texts. Let the police handle it. But these people had already proven they could reach anyone anywhere. They knew about Jalen. They knew about her job. They probably knew about Mrs. Patterson and the school bus route and every vulnerable point in Gloria's life. She couldn't risk her grandson's safety, but she couldn't help them cover up a crime either. Gloria made a decision. She would find the phone, but she wouldn't destroy it. She would find out what was on it, and then she would figure out how to use that information to protect Jalen and bring down whoever was behind this nightmare. She texted back, "Where do I look?" The response came immediately. The shelter in the Bronx where Destiny stayed. Room 14, under the mattress. You have 24 hours. Gloria put her phone away and walked back toward the police station. She needed to find out where that shelter was, and she needed to do it without Detective Carter knowing. Inside the station, chaos had erupted. Victoria Whitmore's confession was spreading like wildfire. Officers ran through hallways. Phones rang off the hook. Someone was shouting about press conferences and legal jurisdictions. Gloria spotted a young officer at a desk typing frantically on a computer. "Excuse me," she said. "I'm Gloria Jenkins. I found the baby last night." The officer looked up. "Yes, ma'am, I heard. You're a hero." "Thank you. Listen, I need some information. The woman who came forward, Destiny Williams. She said her baby was taken from a shelter in the Bronx. Do you know which one?" The officer hesitated. "That's part of an ongoing investigation. I'm not sure I should." "Please, I'm trying to help her. We're both housekeepers. We both work in that building. I just want to reach out to her, one mother to another." The officer's expression softened. He typed something on his computer. "New Hope Family Shelter, 847 Brook Avenue, Bronx. That's where she was staying when the baby was taken." "Thank you. God bless you." Gloria walked out of the police station with a destination and a deadline. 24 hours to find Destiny's phone. 24 hours to figure out who was really pulling the strings. And 24 hours to protect her grandson from monsters she couldn't see. She took the subway to Penn Station and bought a train ticket to New York. The ride was 3 hours. Gloria sat by the window watching the landscape blur past, thinking about everything that had happened in the last 24 hours. One day ago, she had been invisible. A cleaning lady who no one noticed. A grandmother just trying to survive. Now she was racing to the Bronx to find evidence in a case involving billionaires, baby trafficking, and attempted murder. Now she was receiving death threats about her grandson. Now she was caught in the middle of a nightmare that grew darker by the hour. Gloria closed her eyes and prayed. "Lord, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm making the right choices, but that baby needed me last night and I didn't walk away. Destiny needed someone to believe her, and the police are finally listening. Now I need you to guide me. Show me what to do. Protect Jalen. Protect that baby. And if I have to fight, give me the strength to win." The train arrived in New York at 4:47 p.m. Gloria took a taxi to the Bronx, giving the driver the address of New Hope Family Shelter. The shelter was a converted warehouse, gray and tired-looking. Gloria walked through the front door and found herself in a reception area with worn furniture and fluorescent lights. A woman at the front desk looked up. "Can I help you? I'm looking for room 14. I'm a friend of Destiny Williams." The woman's expression changed. Recognition? Sympathy. "Destiny's not here anymore. She left a few days ago, after her baby." The woman couldn't finish. "I know what happened. I'm trying to help her. I just need to get something from the room, something she left behind." The woman hesitated. "I'm not supposed to let people into rooms without authorization." Gloria leaned forward. "Please. Destiny is in Atlanta right now talking to police about what happened. Someone stole her baby and left him to die in a garbage can. I'm the one who found him. I'm the one who saved his life." The woman's eyes went wide. "You're the cleaning lady from the news." "Yes, ma'am." "Oh my God." The woman stood up. "Come with me. I'll take you to the room." She led Gloria down a long hallway to room 14. The door was unlocked. Inside was a small space with a single bed, a dresser, and a window looking out onto an alley. "Take whatever you need," the woman said. "Destiny was a good person. She didn't deserve what happened to her." "No, she didn't." The woman left. Gloria closed the door and went straight to the mattress. She lifted it up. Nothing. She felt along the edges, checking every corner. Her hands touched something hard and rectangular tucked between the mattress and the bed frame. A phone, an old iPhone with a cracked screen. Gloria pulled it out. Her hands were shaking. She pressed the power button. The screen lit up. 15% battery. No passcode. Gloria opened the Photos app. Her breath caught in her throat. Dozens of photos. Marcus Whitmore in compromising positions. Bank transfer receipts. Screenshots of text conversations. Video files. And then she found it. A video dated 3 months ago. She pressed play. Marcus Whitmore's face filled the screen. He was angry, pacing back and forth. "Listen to me carefully, Destiny. You're going to take this money and disappear. You're going to forget my name, forget my face, forget everything that happened between us. Because if you don't, I will destroy you. I will have you deported. I will make sure you never work again. I will take everything you have and leave you with nothing. Do you understand?" Destiny's voice, trembling, came from behind the camera. "I understand, but I'm pregnant. This is your baby." Marcus laughed coldly. "That's not my problem. Get rid of it. Use the money I gave you. But whatever you do, don't ever contact me again." The video ended. Gloria sat on the bed, the phone heavy in her hands. This was evidence. Real evidence. Proof that Marcus Whitmore had threatened Destiny, had tried to force her to have an abortion, had known about the pregnancy, and done nothing to help. But there was more. She kept scrolling. Another video. This one dated just 2 weeks ago. A different voice. A woman's voice. Gloria pressed play. Victoria Whitmore's face appeared on the screen. She was talking to someone off camera, her voice low and intense. "I don't care what it takes. I don't care how much it costs. I want that baby. Bring him to me. Tonight." Another voicemail, unfamiliar. "And the mother. Deal with her. I don't want any loose ends." "Sam." The video ended. Gloria felt like she was going to be sick. Victoria Whitmore had ordered the kidnapping. She had hired someone to take Destiny's baby. She had said deal with her about the mother. This wasn't just a crime of passion. This was premeditated, planned, organized. And someone out there was still working for Victoria. Someone who was threatening Gloria. Someone who wanted this phone destroyed. Gloria's phone buzzed. "Did you find it?" She typed back yes. "Destroy it now. Delete everything and break the phone." Gloria looked at Destiny's phone in her hands. Evidence that could bring down the Whitmores. Evidence that could expose the entire conspiracy. Evidence that could put away everyone responsible for throwing a baby in the trash. If she destroyed it, the truth might never come out. Marcus might escape justice. Victoria's accomplices might never be caught. But if she didn't destroy it, Jalen could be hurt. Her grandson could pay the price for her decision. Gloria stood up. She walked to the window and looked out at the Bronx alley below. Trash cans. Fire escapes. The grimy reality of a world that chewed up people like Destiny and spit them out. She made her choice. She put Destiny's phone in her purse right next to her own phone. Then she typed a response to the unknown number. "It's done. Phone destroyed." She lied. For the first time in her 54 years, Gloria Jenkins told a direct, deliberate lie to protect something bigger than herself. She walked out of the shelter and headed for the subway. She had a train to catch back to Atlanta. She had a phone full of evidence hidden in her purse, and she had 24 hours to figure out how to use it without getting her grandson killed. The subway was crowded with evening commuters. Gloria held her purse tight against her body, hyper-aware of the phone inside. One wrong move. One slip. One moment of carelessness and everything could fall apart. Her phone rang. Detective Carter's number. Gloria answered. "Hello. Ms. Jenkins, where are you? I've been trying to reach you for hours." "I had to step out. Family emergency." "I need you to come back to the station immediately." Victoria Whitmore made a full confession, but there's more. She's naming accomplices, and one of the names she mentioned... Detective Carter paused. "One of the names is Patricia Stone. She runs something called New Hope Family Shelter in the Bronx." Gloria's blood turned to ice. The shelter. The woman who had let her into room 14. The woman who had smiled and called Destiny a good person. She was part of it. She was one of them. "Ms. Jenkins? Are you there?" "I'm here. I'm on my way back to Atlanta. I'll be at the station tonight." "Good. And Ms. Jenkins, be careful. Patricia Stone is still at large. We don't know who else she might be working with." Gloria hung up and looked around the subway car. Everyone seemed normal. Tired commuters, students with headphones, a mother with 2 young children. But any one of them could be watching her. Any one of them could be working for Patricia Stone. Gloria gripped her purse tighter and counted the stops until Penn Station. She had the evidence. She had the truth. Now she just had to survive long enough to use it. The train back to Atlanta left at 7:15 p.m. Gloria found a seat in a quiet car and tried to sleep, but her mind wouldn't stop racing. Victoria Whitmore had confessed. Patricia Stone was exposed. Marcus Whitmore was in custody. But someone was still out there. Someone who had sent those texts. Someone who had threatened Jalen. Gloria pulled out Destiny's phone and scrolled through more files. More photos, more documents, more evidence of a conspiracy that went deeper than she had imagined. And then she found something that made her heart stop. A photo of Jalen, her grandson, walking to school, taken just yesterday morning, with a caption underneath insurance policy. They had been watching Jalen, photographing him, using him as leverage against Gloria from the very beginning. Gloria felt rage explode inside her chest. Pure white-hot fury. These people had threatened a child. Her reason for living. She was going to destroy them. Not just stop them. Not just bring them to justice. Destroy them. Gloria put the phone away and stared out the window at the darkness racing past. The train hummed beneath her. The miles disappeared. Somewhere in Atlanta, her grandson was sleeping in his bed, trusting that his grandmother would protect him. Somewhere in a hospital, a baby boy was fighting to survive, unaware of the evil that had almost claimed his life. Gloria Jenkins had been invisible her whole life, a ghost in a gray uniform, a woman that wealthy people looked through without seeing. But not anymore. Now she was a witness, a protector, a threat to everyone who had tried to bury the truth, and God help anyone who stood in her way. The train arrived in Atlanta at 11:47 p.m. Gloria took a taxi straight to the police station. Detective Carter was waiting for her in the lobby. "Ms. Jenkins, thank you for coming." "I have something for you." Gloria reached into her purse and pulled out Destiny's phone. "I found this. Evidence. Everything you need to bring down everyone involved." Detective Carter took the phone carefully. "Where did you get this?" "The shelter in the Bronx. Patricia Stone didn't know I found it. She let me into Destiny's old room because she thought I was just a concerned friend." Detective Carter scrolled through the files. Her expression grew darker with every swipe. This is everything. Videos, photos, financial records. This could take down the entire operation." "There's more." Gloria's voice hardened. "They've been threatening me, threatening my grandson. They have photos of Jalen walking to school." Detective Carter looked up sharply. "They threatened a child. They threatened my child. And I want them gone. All of them. I want them in prison for the rest of their lives." Detective Carter put her hand on Gloria's shoulder. "We're going to get them. I promise you. With this evidence, no one is going to escape justice." Gloria felt tears burning in her eyes. "My grandson, is he safe?" "I'm going to put a patrol car outside your house tonight, and tomorrow we're going to arrest everyone connected to this. Patricia Stone, Victoria's accomplices, all of them." Gloria nodded. She was exhausted beyond words. Her body ached. Her mind was foggy. But she had done it. She had saved a baby. She had protected the evidence. She had stood up to monsters who thought their money made them untouchable. Gloria Jenkins, cleaning lady grandmother invisible woman. She had changed everything. Gloria didn't go home that night. Detective Carter insisted she stay at the station until they could secure her house. She slept on a hard bench in the break room, her purse clutched against her chest, jumping awake every time a door slammed or a phone rang. At 6:15 a.m., Detective Carter shook her shoulder. "Ms. Jenkins, wake up. We have a problem." Gloria sat up fast, her heart already racing. "Jalen? Is Jalen okay?" "Your grandson is fine. The patrol car confirmed he's safe at home with Mrs. Patterson." Detective Carter's face was grim. "But Patricia Stone is gone. She wasn't at the shelter when our team arrived in New York. Someone tipped her off." Gloria felt ice spread through her veins. How did she know? We're trying to figure that out, but it gets worse." Detective Carter handed Gloria a tablet showing a news broadcast. "Turn on the sound." Gloria pressed play. A reporter stood outside the Monarch Towers speaking urgently into a microphone. "Breaking news this morning as the Whitmore scandal continues to unfold. Sources inside the Atlanta Police Department confirm that Victoria Whitmore has named multiple accomplices in her confession, including prominent Atlanta attorney Richard Blackwood, who allegedly helped orchestrate the illegal adoption scheme. Blackwood was arrested at his home early this morning. Meanwhile, the search continues for Patricia Stone, believed to be the mastermind behind a baby trafficking ring operating out of New York. Anyone with information is urged to contact police immediately." Gloria's hands shook as she watched. Richard Blackwood. She knew that name. Everyone in Atlanta knew that name. He was one of the most powerful lawyers in the city. He represented celebrities, politicians, corporate executives. "Blackwood was their lawyer?" Gloria asked. "More than that, he was the fixer. When Marcus got women pregnant, Blackwood made the problems disappear. NDAs, payoffs, threats. He handled everything." Detective Carter's jaw tightened. "But we didn't get him in time. Before we arrested him, he made several phone calls. We think one of them was to Patricia Stone." "So she's in the wind." "For now, but we'll find her." Detective Carter put her hand on Gloria's shoulder. "In the meantime, I need you to do something important. Destiny Williams wants to see you. She's asking for you specifically." "Me? Why?" "You saved her son's life. You found the evidence that's going to put away the people who hurt her. She wants to thank you in person." Detective Carter paused. "And honestly, I think she needs someone to talk to. Someone who understands what she's been through. Someone who isn't a cop or a lawyer or a social worker." Gloria stood up slowly, her tired bones protesting. "Where is she?" "Interview room 3. Take as long as you need." Gloria walked down the hallway, her footsteps echoing against the tile. Interview room 3 had a small window in the door. Through it, she could see Destiny Williams sitting alone at a table, her head in her hands. Gloria opened the door. Destiny looked up. Her eyes were red and swollen. Her face was pale. She looked like someone who had been crying for days. "You're Gloria," Destiny said. Her voice was hoarse. "You're the one who found my baby, yes?" Destiny stood up and crossed the room in 3 quick steps. She threw her arms around Gloria and held on tight, sobbing into her shoulder. "Thank you, thank you, thank you. He's alive because of you. My baby is alive because you didn't walk away." Gloria held her this young woman. She had never met this stranger who had become connected to her through tragedy and miracle. She felt Destiny's body shaking with sobs, and she held her tighter. "It's okay," Gloria whispered. "It's okay. You're not alone anymore." They stood like that for a long time. 2 women from different worlds, different generations, brought together by a baby in a trash can. Finally, Destiny pulled back. She wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. "They told me what you did, how you went to the shelter and found my phone, how you brought back the evidence." Destiny's voice cracked. "You didn't have to do that. You could have walked away. You could have let the police handle it, but you didn't. They threatened my grandson," Gloria said. "They made this personal." Destiny nodded slowly. "They make everything personal. That's how they control people. They find what you love, and they use it against you." "Tell me what happened. From the beginning. I want to understand." Destiny sat back down at the table. Gloria took the chair across from her. For the next 30 minutes, Destiny told her story. She had come to America from Honduras 5 years ago. She had worked as a housekeeper at the Monarch Towers for 2 years. She was good at her job. Quiet. Invisible. Exactly what the wealthy residents wanted. Then Marcus Whitmore noticed her. "He was charming at first," Destiny said. "He would smile at me in the hallway, leave big tips, ask about my life back home. I thought he was just being nice. I didn't understand what he really wanted." One night she was cleaning his apartment when he came home early. His wife was in Europe. He had been drinking. He cornered her in the bedroom. "I said no," Destiny whispered. "I said it over and over, but he didn't stop." Gloria felt rage burning in her chest. "Did you report it?" "I tried. I went to the building manager the next day, Mr. Davidson. I told him what happened." Destiny laughed bitterly. "He said I was lying. He said Marcus Whitmore would never touch a cleaning lady. He said if I didn't drop the accusation immediately, he would call immigration and have me deported." "So you stayed silent?" "I had no choice. I had no papers, no money, no one who would believe me over a billionaire." Destiny's hands clenched into fists. "Then I found out I was pregnant." She had tried to hide it, wore loose uniforms, took extra shifts to save money. She was planning to leave Atlanta before anyone noticed, but Marcus found out. He called me to his apartment. He was furious. He threw money at me and told me to get rid of it, to make the problem disappear. Destiny's voice hardened. "I told him no, this was my baby. I was keeping it. That's when he fired you." "That same day, security escorted me out. They took my ID badge, my uniform, everything. They told me if I ever came back, they would have me arrested for trespassing." Destiny had moved to New York. She found the shelter through a woman at a bus station who promised to help immigrant mothers. She didn't know it was a trap. Patricia was so nice at first. She gave me a room, food, said she would help me find a job after the baby came. Destiny's tears started flowing again. Then my baby was born, and everything changed. A man came to the shelter 2 days later. He said he was a lawyer. He said Marcus Whitmore had sent him. He offered Destiny $100,000 and a green card to give up the baby. I said no. I screamed at him to leave. He just smiled and said I would change my mind. That night, Destiny fell asleep with her baby in her arms. When she woke up, he was gone. The room was empty. Patricia Stone acted shocked, said someone must have broken in during the night. She called the police, who took a report and did nothing. "I knew she was lying," Destiny said. "I knew Patricia had taken my baby, but I couldn't prove it. And then I heard about the baby in the trash in Atlanta, and I knew in my heart it was Marcus Jr. Gloria reached across the table and took Destiny's hands. "Have you seen him yet?" "Your son." Fresh tears spilled down Destiny's cheeks. "Not yet. They're running tests, making sure he's healthy. They said maybe today I can hold him." "He's beautiful," Gloria said. "He's strong. He fought to live Destiny. He has your spirit." Destiny squeezed Gloria's hands. "Will you come with me? When I see him for the first time, I don't think I can do it alone." "Of course, I'll be right there with you." At 9:30 a.m., Detective Carter drove Gloria and Destiny to Grady Memorial Hospital. News vans were parked outside. Reporters shouted questions as they walked through the entrance. "Destiny, how does it feel to know your baby is alive?" "Ms. Jenkins, are you the hero who saved the Whitmore baby?" Any comment on Victoria Whitmore's confession? They ignored all of it. Security guards cleared a path to the elevator. They rode up to the NICU in silence. The nurse who had helped Gloria 2 nights ago was waiting at the entrance. Her face lit up when she saw them. "Ms. Jenkins, I'm so glad you came back." She turned to Destiny. "And you must be the mother. We've been taking good care of your little one." "Can I see him?" Destiny's voice was barely a whisper. "Absolutely. Follow me." They walked through the NICU to the same incubator where Gloria had said goodbye to the baby 48 hours ago. He was awake now, his dark eyes open, his tiny fists waving in the air. Destiny stopped breathing. She put her hand over her mouth. Her whole body trembled. "That's him," she whispered. "That's my baby. That's Marcus Jr." The nurse smiled. "He's been asking for his mama. Would you like to hold him?" Destiny nodded, unable to speak. The nurse carefully lifted the baby from the incubator. She checked his tubes and wires, making sure everything was secure. Then she placed him gently in Destiny's arms. Destiny broke down completely. She held her son against her chest, crying so hard her whole body shook. She pressed her lips to his forehead, his cheeks, his tiny hands. She whispered to him in Spanish words that Gloria didn't understand but felt in her soul. "My baby. My beautiful baby. Mama's here. Mama's never letting you go again." Gloria stood back, as tears streaming down her own face. She watched this reunion, this miracle, this moment that had almost been stolen forever. If she hadn't heard that cry in the trash room, if she hadn't made the choice to act, this moment would never have happened. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Gloria's blood went cold. She pulled out the phone and looked at the screen. "You gave them the phone. You lied to us. Now you pay." Before she could react, another text came through. "Look out the window." Gloria walked to the window of the NICU. The hospital faced a parking structure across the street. On the 4th level, she could see a figure standing next to a black SUV, the same black SUV she had seen the night she found the baby. The figure raised something to their face. Binoculars. They were watching her. Gloria's phone buzzed again. "We know where Jalen's school is. We know what bus he takes. We know the route he walks. You have 1 hour to leave the hospital and meet us at the address below. Come alone, or your grandson doesn't come home today." An address appeared on the screen, an abandoned warehouse in southwest Atlanta. Gloria felt terror grip her heart, but underneath the terror, something else was rising. Fury. These people had threatened a baby. They had threatened Destiny. Now they were threatening Jalen. She was done being afraid. Gloria looked back at Destiny holding her son. This woman had been victimized, terrorized, had her child stolen from her, and she was still standing. She was still fighting. Gloria could do the same. She walked over to Destiny and touched her shoulder. "I have to go. There's something I need to take care of." Destiny looked up, her face streaked with tears. "Is everything okay?" "It will be. You stay here with your baby. The police will keep you safe." Gloria leaned down and kissed Destiny's forehead. "You're stronger than you know. Remember that." She walked out of the NICU and found Detective Carter waiting in the hallway. "Ms. Jenkins, where are you going?" Gloria made a decision in that moment. She could tell Detective Carter about the texts. Let the police handle it. Stay safe. But these people knew where Jalen went to school. They could grab him before any police response arrived. They had proven they could reach anyone anywhere. Gloria needed to end this herself. "I'm going home to check on Jalen," she lied. "I'll call you later." Detective Carter's eyes narrowed. "Are you sure everything's all right? You look pale." "Just tired. It's been a long few days." "Take this." Detective Carter handed her a card. "My direct line. If anything happens, anything at all, you call me immediately." "I will." Gloria took the card and walked out of the hospital. She found a taxi waiting at the curb and gave the driver the address from the text message. The driver looked at her in the rearview mirror. "Lady, that's not a good part of town. You sure you want to go there?" "I'm sure." He shrugged and pulled away from the hospital. Gloria watched the city pass by outside the window. Her hands were steady. Her mind was clear. She had faced fear before, when her daughter was dying from addiction, when she had to tell Jalen that his mother was never coming home, when she had pulled a baby from a garbage bag and didn't know if he would survive. She had faced fear, and she had survived. She would survive this, too. The taxi arrived at the warehouse at 10:45 a.m. The building was old, abandoned, covered in graffiti. No other cars in sight. "You want me to wait?" the driver asked. "No, go." She paid him out and stepped out of the cab. The taxi disappeared around the corner, leaving Gloria alone. She walked toward the warehouse entrance. The door was rusted, hanging off its hinges. She pushed it open and stepped inside. "Hello," her voice echoed in the empty space. "I'm here. You wanted to talk, so let's talk." Footsteps, coming from somewhere deeper in the warehouse. Gloria stood her ground, her fists clenched at her sides. A figure emerged from the shadows. A woman, 50-something, well-dressed despite the grimy surroundings. Cold eyes that calculated everything. Patricia Stone. "Gloria Jenkins," Patricia said. "The cleaning lady who ruined everything. You're the one who took Destiny's baby. You're the one who gave him to Victoria Whitmore." "I'm a businesswoman. I connect people who have babies they don't want with people who want babies and can't have them. It's a service, a necessary service." "You traffic children. You steal babies from desperate mothers and sell them to the highest bidder." Patricia smiled. It didn't reach her eyes. "Such ugly words. I prefer to think of it as finding homes for unwanted children." "That baby was wanted. Destiny wanted him. She loved him. You stole him from her arms while she slept." Destiny was an illegal immigrant with no money, no papers, and no future. That baby would have grown up in poverty. I was giving him a better life. Gloria felt rage boiling in her chest. "You were giving him to a woman who threw him in the garbage. Victoria Whitmore tried to kill him." Patricia's expression flickered, just for a moment. "That was unfortunate. Victoria wasn't supposed to do that. She was supposed to raise him as her own. She had a breakdown, a moment of temporary insanity. A moment of temporary insanity that almost murdered an innocent child. Yes, well, things don't always go according to plan." Patricia stepped closer. "Which brings us to why we're here, Gloria. You have caused me a great deal of trouble. You found the phone. You gave it to the police. You exposed my entire operation. Good. No, not good. Very bad. For you. Patricia pulled out her own phone and held up the screen. It showed a live video feed. A boy walking down a street. Jalen's street. Jalen's backpack. Do you recognize him? Gloria's heart stopped. Don't you dare touch him. I have people everywhere, Gloria. People you've never seen. People who can reach your grandson before you could even dial 911. Patricia smiled coldly. But I'm not a monster. I don't want to hurt a child. I just want to disappear. Leave the country. Start over somewhere the police can't find me. What do you want from me? Your silence. The police are going to call you to testify. When they do, you're going to tell them you were coerced. That you found the phone, but someone threatened you into giving it to the police. That you don't actually know anything about the videos or the evidence on it. You want me to perjure myself. I want you to protect your grandson. Patricia's voice hardened. It's a simple choice, Gloria. Lie on the witness stand and Jalen comes home safe every day. Tell the truth and... She shrugged. Well, accidents happen to children all the time. Gloria stood there feeling the weight of an impossible choice pressing down on her. Lie and let a monster escape. Tell the truth and risk Jalen's life. How do I know you'll keep your word? Gloria asked. You don't, but what choice do you have? Gloria closed her eyes. She thought about Jalen. His gap-toothed smile, his knowing eyes, the way he called her grandma like she was the most important person in the world. She thought about Destiny, holding her baby in the NICU, crying with joy and relief, finally reunited with the son that had been stolen from her. She thought about the baby, fighting for every breath in that trash room, his tiny heart beating against her chest, his dark eyes looking at her like he knew she would save him. Gloria opened her eyes. No. Patricia's expression flickered. Excuse me, I said no. I'm not going to lie for you. I'm not going to let you escape justice. And I'm not going to spend the rest of my life being afraid of you. Then your grandson. If you hurt my grandson, I will find you. I don't care how far you run. I don't care how long it takes. I will spend every dollar I have, every breath in my body hunting you down. And when I find you, Patricia Stone, I will make you wish you had never been born. Gloria's voice had dropped to something dangerous, something cold, something that surprised even her. Patricia stared at her. For the first time, something like uncertainty crossed her face. You're bluffing. Try me. They stood there, two women facing each other across a gulf of power and desperation. Patricia had money connections, people who would do anything for her. Gloria had nothing but her rage and her love for her family, but sometimes that was enough. A sound broke the silence. Sirens, coming closer, getting louder. Patricia's head snapped toward the door. What did you do? Gloria pulled Detective Carter's card from her pocket. I didn't come alone. I texted the detective before I walked in, gave her this odd address, told her I was meeting the people who threatened my grandson. You stupid! The warehouse door burst open. Police officers flooded in, guns drawn, shouting commands. Atlanta police, nobody move. Patricia tried to run. She made it 3 steps before an officer tackled her to the ground. Her phone flew from her hand and skidded across the floor. Gloria watched as they handcuffed Patricia Stone, pressing her face into the dirty concrete, reading her rights while she screamed threats and curses. Detective Carter appeared at Gloria's side. Her face was tight with a mixture of relief and anger. Are you out of your mind? You could have been killed. She was threatening Jalen. She had people watching him right now. I know. We intercepted them 20 minutes ago. 2 men in a car outside your neighbor's house. They're in custody. Detective Carter shook her head. Why didn't you tell me about the text? Why did you come here alone? Because I needed to look her in the eye. I needed her to see that she couldn't break me, that all her money and power and threats couldn't make me back down. Detective Carter studied her for a long moment. Then unexpectedly she smiled. You know what, Gloria Jenkins? You might be the bravest person I've ever met. I'm just a grandmother who doesn't like bullies. They walked out of the warehouse together. Patricia Stone was being shoved into a police car, still screaming. News helicopters circled overhead. More sirens approached in the distance. Gloria's phone rang. Jalen's number. She answered immediately. Baby, are you okay? Grandma, there are police cars everywhere. Mrs. Patterson said something happened. Are you safe? Gloria felt tears of relief streaming down her face. I'm safe, baby. Everything's going to be okay now. I'm coming home. Promise. Promise, I love you more than anything in this world. Love you too, Grandma. She hung up and stood in the parking lot watching the chaos unfold around her. Police officers, news crews, detectives talking into radios. In 2 days, she had gone from invisible cleaning lady to the woman who brought down a billionaire family and a human trafficking ring. She had saved a baby's life. She had protected a mother's hope. She had faced down monsters and won. Gloria Jenkins was not invisible anymore. At 2:00 p.m., Gloria sat in Detective Carter's office giving her official statement. The detective recorded everything while 2 other officers took notes. "Let me make sure I understand," Detective Carter said. Patricia Stone admitted to running the baby trafficking operation. She confessed that Victoria Whitmore paid her to steal Destiny's baby, and she threatened to harm your grandson if you testified against her. That's correct? And you have text messages proving these threats. Gloria handed over her phone. All of them. I saved everything. Detective Carter scrolled through the messages, her expression growing darker with each one. This is incredible evidence. Combined with the phone you found at the shelter, we have enough to put away everyone involved for decades. What about Marcus Whitmore? He's the one who started all this. He raped Destiny. He threatened her. He's the reason that baby ended up in the trash. Marcus is facing multiple charges. Sexual assault, conspiracy, child endangerment, witness tampering. His lawyers are trying to negotiate, but the evidence is overwhelming. He's not getting out of this. Gloria felt a weight lift from her shoulders. And Victoria. Victoria's confession is being processed. Her lawyers are arguing mental incompetence, but the judge isn't buying it. She knew what she was doing when she put that baby in the trash. She'll face attempted murder charges. Good? Detective Carter leaned back in her chair. You know, Gloria, when I first heard about this case, I thought it would be another scandal that the wealthy would buy their way out of. Another story where the powerful people escape justice and the little people suffer. But then I met you, a cleaning lady who found a baby in the trash and decided to fight, who traveled to New York to find evidence, who faced down a human trafficker in an abandoned warehouse, who refused to back down no matter how many threats were made against her. Gloria shook her head. I just did what anyone would do. No, you did what most people are too scared to do. You chose courage over fear. You chose justice over safety. You chose that baby's life over your own comfort. Detective Carter smiled. Gloria Jenkins, you're a hero, whether you want to accept it or not. Gloria thought about that word. Hero. It felt too big for her, too grand. She was just a grandmother who had heard a cry in the darkness and couldn't walk away. But maybe that's what heroes really were. Ordinary people who made extraordinary choices in moments that mattered. What happens now? Gloria asked. Now we build the case. We'll need you to testify at multiple trials. Victoria's, Marcus's, Patricia's, Richard Blackwood's. This is going to take months, maybe years to fully resolve. I'll be there, every single time. I know you will. Detective Carter stood up and extended her hand. Thank you, Gloria, for everything. Gloria shook her hand. Thank you for believing me, for taking this case seriously, for not making assumptions about a black cleaning lady who found a billionaire's baby. I've been fighting assumptions my whole career. I know what it's like to be underestimated. Detective Carter's grip tightened. We're going to win this, all of us, together. Gloria left the police station at 4:30 p.m. The sun was setting over Atlanta, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. She took a taxi home, watching the city pass by outside the window. So much had changed in 2 days. So much had been exposed. So much pain had been brought into the light. But there was hope, too. Destiny had her baby back. Patricia Stone was in custody. The Whitmores would face justice. And Jalen was safe. The taxi pulled up to Gloria's house. She paid the driver and walked up the path to her front door. Before she could reach it, the door flew open and Jalen ran out. He threw his arms around her and held on tight. Grandma, I was so worried Mrs. Patterson told me everything about the baby and the bad people and the police. Gloria held her grandson, breathing in the familiar smell of his shampoo, feeling his heart beat against hers. I'm okay, baby. Everything's okay now. You're a hero, Grandma. Everyone on the news is saying it. Gloria Jenkins, the hero cleaning lady. Gloria laughed softly. I don't know about hero. I just did what I had to do. Jalen pulled back and looked at her with those knowing eyes that saw everything. That's what heroes do, Grandma. They do what they have to do even when they're scared. That's what makes them heroes. Gloria felt tears burning in her eyes. This boy. This beautiful, wise, wonderful boy. When did you get so smart? I learned from you. They walked into the house together, grandmother and grandson, survivor and protector. The TV was on in the living room, showing news coverage of the Whitmore case. Gloria's face appeared on screen, an old photo from her employee file at the Monarch Towers. Local cleaning lady Gloria Jenkins has become the unlikely hero at the center of the biggest scandal in Atlanta history, the anchor was saying. Her courage in saving an abandoned infant and her determination to expose a human trafficking ring has captivated the nation. Gloria grabbed the remote and turned off the TV. "Grandma, why'd you do that? They're talking about you." "I know, baby, but I don't need to hear strangers telling my story. I lived it. That's enough." She went into the kitchen and started making dinner. Jalen followed her, sitting at the table watching her work. "Grandma?" "Yes, baby." "Are the bad people really going to prison?" Gloria stopped what she was doing and turned to face him. "Yes, every single one of them. The man who hurt those women, the woman who threw the baby away, the people who helped them. They're all going to pay for what they did." "Good." Jalen's voice was firm, certain. "They deserve it." "Yes, they do." "And the baby, is he going to be okay?" Gloria smiled. "He's going to be more than okay. He's back with his mother now. She's going to take care of him, love him, give him the life he deserves." "Because you saved him." "Because I heard him crying and I couldn't walk away." Jalen was quiet for a moment. Then he said something that made Gloria's heart swell with pride. "I want to be like you, Grandma. When I grow up, I want to help people who can't help themselves. I want to be brave like you." Gloria walked over to the table and knelt down in front of her grandson. She took his face in her hands and looked into his eyes. "You already are brave, Jalen. You've been brave every day since your mama died. You've been brave through things no 12-year-old should have to face. And I know with all my heart that you're going to grow up to be an extraordinary man." Jalen hugged her tight. "I love you, Grandma." "I love you too, baby, more than you'll ever know." They ate dinner together that night. Nothing fancy, just soup and sandwiches. But it felt like a feast, a celebration of survival, a quiet moment of peace after the storm. At 9:00 p.m. Gloria's phone rang. She didn't recognize the number, but she answered anyway. "Ms. Jenkins, this is Nurse Denise at Grady Memorial. I'm calling with good news. Destiny Williams has been officially granted custody of her son. The paperwork is complete. They're going home tomorrow." Gloria felt joy flood through her. "That's wonderful. That's the best news I've heard all day. Destiny asked me to call you. She wants you to come to the hospital tomorrow morning. She wants you to be there when she takes Marcus Jr. home for the first time. Tell her I'll be there. Wild horses couldn't keep me away." She hung up and sat in her living room, listening to the quiet sounds of her house. Jalen was doing homework in his room. The refrigerator hummed in the kitchen. A dog barked somewhere down the street. Normal sounds. Ordinary life. The things she had almost lost. The things she had fought to protect. Gloria Jenkins closed her eyes and whispered a prayer of gratitude. For second chances. For survival. For the courage to do what was right. For a baby's cry in the darkness that had changed everything. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, trials to attend, testimony to give, a long road to justice. But tonight, Gloria was home. Her grandson was safe. A mother had her baby back, and that was enough. That was everything. Gloria arrived at Grady Memorial Hospital at 8:00 a.m. the next morning. The sun was bright, the air crisp with autumn chill. She carried a small gift bag with a teddy bear she had bought at a drugstore on the way. It wasn't much, but it was something. Destiny was waiting in the lobby, Marcus Jr. in her arms, a hospital discharge bag over her shoulder. When she saw Gloria, her face lit up. "You came?" "I told you I would." They embraced carefully, the baby between them. Marcus Jr. was awake, his dark eyes moving around the lobby, taking in this strange new world. "He's getting bigger already," Gloria said, touching his tiny hand. "Look at those cheeks." "The doctors say he's perfectly healthy, no brain damage, no lasting effects from the hypothermia." Destiny's voice cracked. "He's a miracle, Gloria, our miracle." "Where are you going to go? Do you have a place to stay?" Destiny nodded. "Detective Carter helped me find a shelter for mothers and children, a real one. Safe. They have social workers who can help me get my papers sorted out, help me find a job." "That's good. That's really good." "But Gloria, I'm scared." Destiny's eyes filled with tears. "I don't know how to do this alone. I don't have family here. I don't have friends. I don't have anything except this baby and the clothes on my back." Gloria took Destiny's hand and squeezed it tight. "You have me. You hear me. You're not alone anymore. I'm going to help you. Whatever you need. Job references, babysitting, someone to talk to at 300 a.m. when the baby won't stop crying. I'm here. Why? You don't even know me. I know enough. I know you survived things that would have broken most people. I know you love your son more than life itself. I know you deserve a chance to build something good." Gloria smiled. "Besides, that little boy and I have a bond. I pulled him out of the trash. He's stuck with me now." Destiny laughed through her tears. Thank you so much." They walked out of the hospital together. A taxi was waiting at the curb. Gloria had called ahead and paid for it. "This will take you to the shelter. I've already talked to the director. She's expecting you." "Gloria, you didn't have to." "Yes, I did. Now go. Get your son settled, rest, and call me tomorrow. We have a lot of planning to do." Destiny hugged her one more time, then climbed into the taxi with Marcus Jr. Gloria watched the car disappear into traffic, her heart full of emotions she couldn't name. She had saved a baby's life. She had helped bring down a criminal empire. And now she was building a friendship with a woman who needed her as much as she needed to be needed. Life had a strange way of working out. Her phone rang. Detective Carter. "Ms. Jenkins, I need you to come to the courthouse immediately. The arraignment hearings are starting in an hour. Victoria Whitmore, Marcus Whitmore, Patricia Stone, and Richard Blackwood. You need to be there." "I'll be right there." Gloria took another taxi to the Fulton County Courthouse. The building was surrounded by news vans, protesters, and curious onlookers. Police had set up barricades to control the crowd. Signs waved in the air. "Justice for baby Marcus." "Lock them up." "Rich people aren't above the law." Gloria pushed through the crowd and found Detective Carter waiting at the entrance. "This way. I've arranged for you to sit in the gallery. You don't have to testify today. This is just the formal charging and bail hearings. But I thought you should see it." They entered the courthouse and made their way to courtroom 4B. The room was packed, every seat filled. Media in the back with cameras. Lawyers huddled at tables whispering urgently. The air was thick with tension and anticipation. Gloria found a seat in the front row of the gallery. She could see everything from here. The judge's bench, the prosecution table, the defense table, and the door through which the defendants would enter. At 9:00 a.m. exactly, the bailiff called the court to order. "All rise," the Honorable Judge Patricia Coleman presiding. Judge Coleman was a black woman in her 60s with silver hair and sharp eyes that had seen every kind of human depravity. She took her seat and surveyed the courtroom with the calm authority of someone who would not tolerate nonsense. "Be seated. We're here for the arraignment of Victoria Whitmore, Marcus Whitmore, Patricia Stone, and Richard Blackwood on multiple felony charges, including attempted murder, conspiracy, human trafficking, and racketeering. Let's proceed." The first defendant was brought in. Victoria Whitmore. Gloria barely recognized her. The perfect blonde hair was limp and unwashed. The designer clothes had been replaced by an orange jumpsuit. Her face was pale and haggard, her eyes hollow. She looked like a ghost of the woman Gloria had seen in society pages. Victoria was led to the defense table where a team of expensive lawyers waited. She didn't look at the gallery. She didn't look at anyone. She just stared straight ahead, empty. The prosecutor, a sharp-looking woman named District Attorney Michelle Torres, stood up. "Your Honor, the people charge Victoria Whitmore with attempted murder in the first-degree conspiracy to commit kidnapping, conspiracy to commit human trafficking, and child endangerment. Mrs. Whitmore has confessed to placing a newborn infant in a garbage bag in the trash room of the Monarch Towers with the intent to cause his death. We request that bail be denied due to the severity of the charges and the defendant's significant financial resources, which make her a flight risk." Victoria's lead attorney, a silver-haired man named Charles Henderson, rose to his feet. "Your Honor, my client has fully cooperated with authorities. She has confessed voluntarily and has expressed deep remorse for her actions. Mrs. Whitmore was suffering from a severe mental health crisis at the time of the incident brought on by years of emotional abuse from her husband and the devastating discovery of his multiple affairs. We request that she be released on bail with electronic monitoring to seek psychiatric treatment." Judge Coleman looked at Victoria. "Mrs. Whitmore, you are charged with attempted murder of a newborn infant. Do you understand these charges?" Victoria's voice was barely audible. "Yes, Your Honor." "How do you plead?" Silence. Victoria's lawyers whispered urgently in her ear. She shook her head slowly. "Guilty, Your Honor. I plead guilty to all charges." The courtroom erupted. Reporters shouted. Cameras flashed. Judge Coleman banged her gavel. "Order, I will have order in this courtroom." The noise subsided. Judge Coleman leaned forward. "Mrs. Whitmore, are you certain you wish to plead guilty? You have the right to a trial. You have the right to present a defense." "I know what I did." Victoria's voice cracked. "I put that baby in the trash. I wanted him to die. I wanted the evidence of my husband's betrayal to disappear." Tears streamed down her face. "But I was wrong. I was sick, and I deserved to be punished." Her lawyers looked horrified. Henderson tried to intervene. "Your Honor, we request a recess to confer with our client." Denied. Mrs. Whitmore has made her plea. Judge Coleman's expression was unreadable. Bail is denied. Defendant will be held pending sentencing. Sentencing hearing set for 30 days from today. Victoria was led away, her head bowed, her shoulders shaking with silent sobs. Gloria watched her go, feeling a complicated mix of emotions. Anger at what Victoria had done, pity for what she had become, and a strange kind of respect for her willingness to face the consequences. The next defendant was brought in, Marcus Whitmore. He looked different from his wife. Still arrogant. Still defiant. His orange jumpsuit was somehow less rumpled than everyone else's, as if even in jail he demanded special treatment. He walked to the defense table with his chin up, scanning the gallery like he was looking for someone to blame. His eyes landed on Gloria. For a moment, they stared at each other. Gloria didn't look away. She held his gaze, letting him see exactly who had brought him down. Marcus looked away first. District Attorney Torres stood again. "Your Honor, the people charge Marcus Whitmore with sexual assault in the first-degree conspiracy to commit kidnapping, conspiracy to commit human trafficking, witness tampering, obstruction of justice, and child endangerment. Mr. Whitmore is accused of sexually assaulting at least 3 women over the past 5 years, including Destiny Williams, the mother of the infant found abandoned. We request bail be denied." Marcus's attorney, a woman named Sandra Price, objected immediately. "Your Honor, my client denies all charges of sexual assault. Any relationships he had were consensual. The women making these accusations are motivated by financial gain. Mr. Whitmore is a respected businessman with deep ties to the community. He poses no flight risk." "No flight risk," Torres laughed. "Your Honor, Mr. Whitmore was apprehended at Peachtree DeKalb Airport attempting to board a private plane to the Cayman Islands. He had a suitcase full of cash and documents. He is the very definition of a flight risk." Judge Coleman raised an eyebrow. "Is this true, Ms. Price?" Sandra Price hesitated. "My client was merely taking a business trip. He had no knowledge of the investigation at that time." "He was fleeing the country with $2 million in cash," Torres shot back. "He knew exactly what was happening." Judge Coleman had heard enough. "Bail is denied. Defendant will be held pending trial." She looked at Marcus. "Mr. Whitmore, how do you plead?" Marcus stood straight. His voice was cold. "Not guilty to all charges." "Very well. Trial date will be set at the preliminary hearing." Judge Coleman banged her gavel. "Next defendant." Patricia Stone was brought in. She had lost all her composure from the warehouse. Her hair was disheveled. Her eyes darted around the courtroom like a trapped animal. When she saw Gloria in the gallery, pure hatred flashed across her face. Gloria didn't flinch. She stared right back. The charges against Patricia were the longest: human trafficking, kidnapping, conspiracy, racketeering, child endangerment, witness intimidation, crossing state lines to commit a felony. The list went on and on. Ms. Stone operated a fake shelter in the Bronx that targeted vulnerable immigrant mothers, Torres explained. She would gain their trust, wait until they gave birth, then steal their babies and sell them to wealthy clients who wanted children without going through legal adoption channels. We have evidence of at least 15 babies trafficked over the past 4 years. This is a federal case, but we are coordinating with U.S. attorneys on charges. Patricia's public defender, a young man who looked overwhelmed, made a weak argument for bail. Judge Coleman shut him down immediately. Bail denied. This defendant poses an extreme flight risk and a danger to vulnerable populations. She looked at Patricia with barely concealed disgust. "Ms. Stone, how do you plead?" Patricia's voice was venomous. "Not guilty. This is a setup. That cleaning lady planted evidence. She's working with the police to frame me." Gloria felt her blood boil. Patricia was pointing at her, trying to shift blame even now. Judge Coleman was unmoved. "The defendant's accusations are noted. She will have an opportunity to present her defense at trial." Bang of the gavel. "Next defendant." Richard Blackwood was last. The powerful attorney who had helped the Whitmores cover up their crimes for years. He walked in looking calm, controlled. Like this was just another court appearance in a long career. He wore an expensive suit that someone had brought to the jail for him. He nodded to colleagues in the gallery like they were at a bar association event. But Gloria saw something in his eye. Fear. Desperation. The look of a man who knew his entire life was about to collapse. The charges against Blackwood included conspiracy, obstruction of justice, witness tampering, and accessory to human trafficking. Torres argued that Blackwood had been the fixer who made problems disappear for wealthy clients, NDAs for assault victims, payoffs for women Marcus had impregnated, threats against anyone who might talk. Richard Blackwood used his position as a respected attorney to enable and cover up the crimes of his clients, Torres said. He is not a victim, he is a perpetrator. Without his assistance, the Whitmores could never have hurt as many people as they did. Blackwood's attorney argued that his client was merely doing his job providing legal services and had no knowledge of any criminal activity. Judge Coleman looked skeptical but set bail at $5 million. How do you plead, Mr. Blackwood? Not guilty, Your Honor. Trial date to be determined. Court is adjourned. Gloria sat in the gallery as the courtroom slowly emptied. She watched the defendants being led away one by one. Victoria broken and guilty. Marcus defiant and doomed. Patricia hateful and desperate. Blackwood polished and terrified. 4 people who had thought their money and power made them untouchable. 4 people who were about to learn that justice didn't care about bank accounts. Detective Carter appeared at Gloria's side. How do you feel, but like this is really happening, like it's not just a dream? It's real, and it's just the beginning. The trials will take months. You'll need to testify multiple times. It's going to be exhausting and emotional, and sometimes you'll want to give up. I won't give up. I know you won't. Detective Carter smiled. That's why you're going to win. They walked out of the courthouse together. The crowd outside had grown even larger. When people saw Gloria emerge, a cheer went up. There she is, that's Gloria Jenkins. Thank you, Gloria. You're a hero. Gloria felt overwhelmed. She wasn't used to attention. She wasn't used to people knowing her name. She was used to being invisible. A reporter pushed through the crowd. Microphone extended. Ms. Jenkins, how does it feel to see the people who threatened you facing justice? Gloria paused. She looked at the camera at the crowd at the courthouse behind her. It feels like hope, she said slowly. For too long, powerful people have been able to hurt others without consequences. They've used their money to buy silence. They've used their connections to escape accountability. But not anymore. Today, justice showed that no one is above the law, and that's something we should all celebrate. The crowd cheered again. Gloria ducked into a waiting police car, escaping the crush of reporters. Detective Carter drove her home. They didn't talk much. Gloria was lost in thought, processing everything she had witnessed. When they pulled up to her house, Detective Carter turned to her. Gloria, I want you to know something. What you did going to that warehouse alone, confronting Patricia Stone, it was incredibly brave and incredibly stupid. Gloria laughed. I know. But I also understand why you did it. You were protecting your family. That's something I can never criticize. Carter paused. Just promise me you'll let the professionals handle things from now on. No more solo missions. I promise. Good. Now go rest. You've earned it. Gloria went inside. The house was quiet. Jalen was at school. Mrs. Patterson had gone home. She sat down on her couch and let out a breath she felt like she had been holding for days. It was really happening. The people who had tried to kill that baby, who had threatened her grandson, who had trafficked children for profit, they were going to prison. Justice was being served. Her phone buzzed, a text from Destiny. We're at the shelter. Marcus Jr. is sleeping. I can't stop crying. Thank you for everything. You changed my life. Gloria typed back, you changed mine too. Rest now. Tomorrow we start building your future. She put down the phone and closed her eye. For the first time in days, she felt something like peace. But peace was short-lived. At 3:47 p.m., her phone rang. Unknown number. Gloria hesitated, then answered. Ms. Jenkins, this is Dr. Raymond Chen from Grady Memorial. I'm calling about the baby you brought in, Marcus Jr. Gloria's heart seized. Is he okay? What happened? He's fine. He's healthy. That's not why I'm calling. Dr. Chen paused. We ran additional tests as part of his discharge process, standard genetic screening, and we found something unexpected. What do you mean, Ms. Jenkins, the DNA results show something we didn't anticipate. The baby's genetic profile indicates he has a sibling. A half-sibling to be precise. Someone who shares the same father. Gloria's mind raced. Marcus Whitmore had other children. From the other women. That's what we thought at first. But when we cross-referenced the genetic markers with other samples in our database, Dr. Chen's voice became very careful. Ms. Jenkins, the half-sibling match came from a sample collected at this hospital 12 years ago, a baby born here in 2012. 12 years ago, 2012, the year Jalen was born. Gloria felt the world tilt beneath her. Doctor, what are you telling me? I'm telling you that Marcus Jr. and your grandson Jalen share the same biological father. Marcus Whitmore is Jalen's father. The phone slipped from Gloria's hand. She couldn't breathe, couldn't think, couldn't process what she had just heard. Marcus Whitmore, the billionaire, the rapist, the monster. He was Jalen's father, which meant Gloria's daughter. Her beautiful daughter who had died from an overdose 3 years ago. The daughter she had raised alone after her husband left. The daughter who had struggled with addiction and bad choices and men who used her. Marcus Whitmore had been one of those men. Gloria picked up the phone with shaking hands. Doctor, are you sure? Are you absolutely certain? The DNA is conclusive, Ms. Jenkins. There's no doubt. Does anyone else know about this? I'm bound by patient confidentiality. I called you first because you're Jalen's legal guardian. What you do with this information is your decision. Gloria hung up and sat in her living room, her world completely shattered. All these years of wondering who Jalen's father was. Her daughter had never said, had been too ashamed or too scared or too confused to tell anyone. She had just shown up pregnant at 19, refused to name the father, and spiraled into addiction after Jalen was born. Now Gloria understood why. Her daughter had been another one of Marcus Whitmore's victims. Another woman he had used and discarded. Another life he had destroyed, without consequence. Until now. Gloria felt rage building inside her like a volcano about to erupt. This man had hurt her daughter, had fathered her grandson and abandoned them both, had gone on to hurt countless other women while her daughter struggled and suffered and eventually died. She wanted to scream. She wanted to break things. She wanted to march into that jail and confront Marcus Whitmore with the truth. But she didn't, because there was someone else she needed to think about. Jalen. Her grandson didn't know who his father was, had never asked, seeming to accept that some questions didn't have answers. He had grown up believing his father was just some anonymous man who had abandoned his mother. Now Gloria knew the truth, and she had to decide what to do with it. Did she tell Jalen? Did she let him know that his biological father was a billionaire rapist who was about to spend the rest of his life in prison? Did she burden a 12-year-old with that knowledge, or did she protect him, keep the secret, let him grow up without the weight of knowing he shared DNA with a monster? Gloria sat alone in her house wrestling with the hardest decision of her life. At 4:30 p.m. the front door opened. Jalen walked in, backpack slung over one shoulder, basketball tucked under his arm. "Grandma, I'm home. Can I go play basketball with Marcus and Devin?" Gloria looked at her grandson, his gap-toothed smile, his bright eyes, his innocent face that didn't know the storm that was about to hit. "Come sit down, baby. Grandma needs to talk to you." Jalen's smile faded. He knew that tone. He sat down on the couch next to her, suddenly serious. "Is something wrong? Is it about the bad people? Are they coming back?" "No, baby, the bad people are in jail. That's not what this is about." Gloria took a deep breath. "This is about your father." Jalen went very still. "My father. I know I told you I didn't know who he was, that your mama never told me, but today I found out the truth." "How?" "The doctors at the hospital. They ran some tests, DNA tests." Gloria reached out and took Jalen's hands. "Baby, your father is Marcus Whitmore, the billionaire, the man I helped put in jail." Jalen stared at her. His face went through a series of emotions. Confusion, disbelief, horror, anger. "The man who hurt those women, the man who threw the baby away, that's my father. His DNA says yes, I'm so sorry, baby." Jalen pulled his hands away. He stood up and walked to the window, his back to Gloria. His shoulders were shaking. "Jalen? Did Mama know? Did she know who he was?" Gloria's heart broke. "I think so, baby. I think she knew and was too scared to tell anyone." "Did he hurt her like he hurt those other women?" Gloria closed her eyes. "I don't know, but I think maybe he did." Jalen was silent for a long moment. When he turned around, his face was wet with tears, but his eyes were hard. He killed her, not with his hands, but he killed her. He hurt her and left her, and she started using drugs because of what he did. And then she died. "Oh, baby. I hate him." Jalen's voice was fierce. "I hate him, and I'm glad he's going to prison, and I hope he rots there forever." Gloria stood up and wrapped her arms around her grandson. He resisted for a moment, then collapsed against her, sobbing like the child he still was. "It's okay," she whispered, holding him tight. "It's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel everything you're feeling. I've got you. I've always got you." They stood there for a long time, grandmother and grandson holding each other through the storm. Finally, Jalen pulled back. He wiped his eyes with the back of his hand. "Grandma, does this mean I'm like him? Does this mean I'm going to be a bad person too?" Gloria grabbed his face with both hands and looked directly into his eyes. "You listen to me, Jalen Jenkins. DNA doesn't determine who you are. Character does. Choices do. You are my grandson. You are kind and brave and smart and good. You are nothing like Marcus Whitmore, and you never will be. Do you understand me?" Jalen nodded slowly. "I understand. That man may be your biological father, but he's not your family. I'm your family. Destiny and Marcus Jr., they're your family now too. We choose our family. We choose who we love and who we protect. And we chose you. We will always choose you." Jalen hugged her again, tighter this time. "I love you, Grandma." "I love you too, baby, more than anything in this world." That night, Gloria called Detective Carter and told her about the DNA revelation. The detective was shocked, but professional. "This will come out eventually. In the trial, probably. Are you prepared for that?" "I'm prepared for whatever comes. Jalen knows the truth. We'll face it together." "You're an incredible woman, Gloria Jenkins." "I'm just a grandmother doing her best." The next morning, Gloria made a decision. She went back to the hospital not to visit anyone, but to request a meeting with the hospital administrator. "I want to donate blood," she said. "I want to get tested to see if I'm a match for anyone who needs it. And I want to volunteer, in the NICU, holding babies who don't have anyone to hold them." The administrator was surprised, but pleased. They scheduled her for orientation the following week. Gloria walked out of the hospital feeling something she hadn't felt in a long time. Purpose. She had spent 54 years being invisible, cleaning other people's messes, living paycheck to paycheck, surviving instead of thriving. But now she had a chance to do something more. To take the pain and fear and anger of the past week and transform it into something good. To use her experience to help others. She wasn't just a cleaning lady anymore. She was Gloria Jenkins, a woman who had heard a cry in the darkness and refused to walk away, a woman who had faced down monsters and won, a woman who had discovered her own strength in the most unlikely circumstances. And she was just getting started. At 2:00 p.m., Gloria went to the shelter where Destiny was staying. She found the young mother in a small but clean room, Marcus Jr. sleeping in a crib by the window. "Gloria," Destiny's face lit up. "I didn't expect you today." "I have news, some of it good, some of it complicated." She told Destiny about the DNA results, about the discovery that Jalen was Marcus Whitmore's son, about the revelation that connected their families in ways neither of them had imagined. Destiny listened in silence, her eyes growing wider with each word. "So Marcus Jr. and Jalen are brothers," she said when Gloria finished. "Half-brothers." "Yes?" Destiny looked at her sleeping son, then back at Gloria. "This is crazy. This whole thing is crazy." "I know. But also..." Destiny paused, searching for words. "Also kind of beautiful in a messed up way. Our families were hurt by the same monster, and now our families are connected. We're not just friends anymore, we're family." Gloria felt tears prick her eyes. "I was hoping you'd see it that way." "How else could I see it?" Destiny reached out and took Gloria's hand. "You saved my son. You fought for justice for me. And now I find out our children share blood. Gloria, this isn't coincidence. This is God. This is fate. This is something bigger than all of us." Gloria squeezed her hand. "So what do we do now?" Destiny smiled. "We raise our boys together. We show them that family isn't about DNA. It's about love. It's about showing up. It's about choosing each other every single day." "That sounds perfect." They talked for hours, about the future, about plans, about dreams that neither of them had dared to dream before. By the time Gloria left the shelter, the sun was setting over Atlanta. She walked to the bus stop, her heart full, her mind at peace. So much had changed in just a few days. So much had been lost. So much had been found. A baby pulled from the trash. A mother reunited with her son. A conspiracy exposed. A family discovered. And Gloria Jenkins at the center of it all, finally seeing herself clearly for the first time in her life. Not invisible, not forgotten, not unimportant, but powerful, courageous, essential. She boarded the bus and headed home, ready for whatever came next. 6 months had passed since Gloria Jenkins pulled a dying baby from a trash can. 6 months of trials, testimonies, sleepless nights, and moments of doubt. 6 months that had transformed her from an invisible cleaning lady into a name that every person in Atlanta recognized. The morning of Marcus Whitmore's sentencing hearing arrived cold and gray. February in Atlanta. Gloria woke at 5:00 a.m. unable to sleep. She sat in her kitchen drinking coffee, watching the sky slowly lighten through the window. Jalen appeared in the doorway, already dressed in his school clothes. "You nervous, Grandma?" "A little." He sat down across from her. In the past 6 months, he had grown. Not just physically, but emotionally. The boy who had learned his biological father was a monster had processed that pain and emerged stronger. He had started therapy. He had joined the school basketball team. He had become a big brother to Marcus Jr., visiting Destiny every weekend to play with the baby. "He's going to prison forever, right?" Jalen asked. "That's what the prosecutor says. The judge will decide today." "Good." Jalen's voice was firm. "He deserves it." Gloria reached across the table and squeezed his hand. "I'm proud of you, baby. You know that the way you've handled all this, the way you've grown, your mama would be so proud." Jalen's eyes glistened. "I think about her a lot, especially now. I wish she could see that he's finally paying for what he did. She sees. Trust me. She sees everything." At 7:30 a.m., Detective Carter picked Gloria up. They drove to the courthouse in silence, both lost in thought. The streets were already crowded with protesters, supporters, and media. The Whitmore case had become a national obsession. Every network, every newspaper, every podcast had covered it. Gloria's face had been on magazine covers. Her story had been told and retold until it felt like it belonged to everyone, but it was still her story, her truth, her courage that had started it all. The courthouse was a fortress of security, metal detectors, armed guards, credential checks at every door. Gloria had testified 4 times over the past 6 months. At Victoria's sentencing hearing, where the woman who had thrown a baby in the trash received 15 years in prison. At Patricia Stone's trial, where the human trafficker was convicted on all counts and sentenced to 45 years. At Richard Blackwood's hearing, where the once powerful attorney was disbarred and given 20 years for his role in the conspiracy. Now it was Marcus Whitmore's turn. Gloria took her seat in the front row of the gallery. Destiny sat beside her, holding Marcus Jr. on her lap. The baby was 7 months old now, healthy and thriving, his dark eyes taking in the world with curiosity. On Gloria's other side sat Jalen, who had been excused from school for this day. Behind them sat Keisha Brown and Amber Hayes, 2 of Marcus's other victims who had come forward during the investigation. The courtroom filled quickly. Media in the back, lawyers at their tables. A tense electric energy in the air. At 9:00 a.m. exactly, the bailiff called the court to order. "All rise." The Honorable Judge Patricia Coleman presiding. Judge Coleman took her seat and surveyed the courtroom. Her expression was grave. "We are here for the sentencing of Marcus Whitmore, who has been convicted by a jury of his peers on multiple counts including sexual assault and the first-degree conspiracy to commit kidnapping, conspiracy to commit human trafficking, witness tampering, obstruction of justice, and child endangerment." She turned to Marcus, who sat at the defense table in an orange jumpsuit, his expensive lawyers flanking him like nervous bodyguards. "Mr. Whitmore, before I pronounce sentence, I will hear victim impact statements. Do any of the victims wish to address the court?" Destiny stood up. Her hands were shaking, but her voice was steady. "I would like to speak, Your Honor." She handed Marcus Jr. to Gloria and walked to the podium facing the judge. She took a deep breath and turned to look directly at Marcus Whitmore. "You raped me," she began. "You cornered me in your apartment while I was trying to do my job, and you took something from me that I can never get back. And when I told someone when I tried to get help, you had me fired. You had me threatened. You made me feel like my life was worth nothing." Her voice grew stronger. "But I survived. I had my baby alone because I had no one to help me. I named him Marcus Jr. because I wanted him to know where he came from, even though where he came from was pain and violence. And then your wife stole him from me. She put him in a garbage bag and threw him away, like trash." Destiny's tears were flowing now, but she didn't stop. "But God sent an angel, a cleaning lady named Gloria Jenkins, who heard my baby crying and refused to walk away. She saved his life. She saved my life. And she exposed you for the monster you are." She turned back to the judge. "I don't want revenge, Your Honor. I want justice. I want this man to spend the rest of his life knowing that his money and his power couldn't protect him, that a cleaning lady and a housekeeper brought him down, that the people he treated like nothing turned out to be everything." The courtroom was silent. Destiny walked back to her seat and took Marcus Jr. from Gloria's arms. The baby cooed softly, reaching for his mother's face. Keisha Brown spoke next, then Amber Hayes. Each woman told her story. Each woman faced the man who had hurt her and refused to be silenced. When they finished, Judge Coleman turned to Marcus. "Mr. Whitmore, do you have anything to say before I pronounce sentence?" Marcus's lawyers had clearly prepared a statement for him, something apologetic, something calculated to inspire mercy, but Marcus didn't read it. He stood up and looked around the courtroom, his face twisted with contempt. "This is a witch hunt," he said. "These women are liars. They wanted my money. They wanted fame. They saw an opportunity to destroy a successful man, and they took it." His lawyers tried to stop him. He shook them off. "That cleaning lady," he pointed at Gloria. "She planted evidence. She conspired with the police. This whole thing is a setup." Gloria met his eyes. She didn't flinch. She didn't look away. "I built an empire," Marcus continued, his voice rising. "I created thousands of jobs. I donated millions to charity. And this is how I'm repaid, with lies and accusations from people who contributed nothing to society." Judge Coleman's expression had turned to ice. "Mr. Whitmore, is that all you have to say? It's the truth." "No, Mr. Whitmore. The truth is that you are a predator who used your wealth and power to prey on vulnerable women for years. The truth is that your money bought silence, but it couldn't buy justice. The truth is that you fathered children you abandoned, hurt people who couldn't fight back, and felt entitled to do whatever you wanted because you believed your success made you above the law." Judge Coleman's voice filled the courtroom. "But you were wrong. In this country, in this courtroom, no one is above the law. Not billionaires, not celebrities, not powerful men who think they can buy their way out of consequences." She picked up a document from her desk. "Marcus Whitmore, I sentence you to 45 years in federal prison without the possibility of parole. May God have mercy on your soul, because this court has none." The courtroom erupted. Marcus's lawyers shouted objections. Supporters in the gallery cheered. Media members rushed for the exits to file their stories. Marcus stood frozen, and the reality finally hitting him. 45 years. He would die in prison. Everything he had built, everything he had accumulated, everything he had thought made him untouchable gone. Guards approached to take him away. As they led him past the gallery, he stopped in front of Gloria. "You ruined my life," he hissed. Gloria stood up and looked him directly in the eyes. "No, Mr. Whitmore, you ruined your own life. I just made sure you couldn't ruin anyone else's." They took him away. The courtroom slowly emptied. Gloria remained in her seat, processing what had just happened. It was over. After 6 months of fighting, of testifying, of facing threats and pressure and moments of doubt, it was finally over. Destiny hugged her tight. "We did it. We actually did it. We did." Jalen appeared at her side. His eyes were wet, but he was smiling. "He's going to prison, Grandma. He's really going to prison." "Yes, baby, he is." Detective Carter approached them. "Ladies, there's a crowd of reporters outside waiting to talk to you. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to." Gloria thought about it. For 6 months, she had avoided the spotlight as much as possible. She had let her actions speak for it, talk for her. She had focused on the case on Jalen, on building a new life. But today was different. Today, justice had been served. Today, the world needed to hear what that meant. "I'll talk to them," Gloria said. They walked out of the courthouse together. The crowd was massive. Hundreds of people cheering, waving signs, calling Gloria's name. Media cameras pointed at her like an army. Microphones thrust forward. Gloria stepped up to the cluster of microphones. The crowd fell silent. 6 months ago, she began, her voice steady. "I was a cleaning lady working the night shift in a building where rich people lived. I was invisible. Nobody knew my name. Nobody cared if I existed. I was just another face that people looked through on their way to their important lives." She paused, looking out at the crowd. "Then I heard a baby crying in the trash. And I had a choice. I could walk away. I could tell myself it wasn't my problem, wasn't my business, wasn't my place to get involved. That's what the world expects people like me to do. Stay quiet, stay invisible, don't make waves." Her voice grew stronger. "But I couldn't do that, because that baby's life mattered. His cry in the darkness mattered. And if I walked away, if I let him die because I was too scared to act, then I would have to live with that for the rest of my life." She looked at Destiny standing beside her with Marcus Jr. She looked at Jalen, her grandson, her heart. Today, a man who thought he was untouchable learned that justice doesn't care about bank accounts. Today, women who were told to stay silent watched their abuser get sentenced to spend the rest of his life in prison. Today, a baby who was thrown away like garbage is alive and thriving in his mother's arms. Gloria felt tears running down her face, but she didn't stop. "I want everyone watching this to know something. You don't have to be rich to matter. You don't have to be powerful to make a difference. You don't have to be important in the eyes of the world to change someone's life. All you have to do is care. All you have to do is act. All you have to do is refuse to walk away when someone needs you." She wiped her eyes and smiled. "My name is Gloria Jenkins. I'm a grandmother from Atlanta. I spent my whole life being invisible, but I heard a cry in the darkness and I ran toward it instead of away, and that made all the difference." The crowd erupted in cheers. People were crying. People were hugging each other. The moment felt bigger than Gloria, bigger than the case, bigger than anything she could have imagined when she pulled that baby from the trash. Detective Carter put a hand on her shoulder. "That was incredible. It was the truth, that's all." They left the courthouse through a side exit, escaping the crush of media and well-wishers. A police car drove them to a restaurant where a private celebration had been planned. Destiny and Marcus Jr., Jalen, Mrs. Patterson, Nurse Denise from the hospital, a few other people who had helped along the way. They ate, they laughed, they cried, they toasted to justice and to family and to the unexpected ways that life could bring people together. At 3:00 p.m., Gloria's phone rang, a number she didn't recognize. "Ms. Jenkins, this is Robert Chen from the Oprah Winfrey Network. Ms. Winfrey would like to interview you for a special episode about your story. Would you be interested in discussing this?" Gloria almost dropped her phone. "Oprah wants to interview me." The table went silent. Everyone stared at her. "Yes, ma'am. She's been following your case closely. She believes your story is one of the most inspiring she's heard in years." Gloria looked around the table. At Destiny, her eyes wide with excitement. At Jalen, grinning from ear to ear. At Mrs. Patterson, already crying happy tears. "Can I bring my family?" Gloria asked. "They're part of this story, too." "Absolutely. Miss Winfrey would love to meet all of them." "Then yes, I would be honored." She hung up and the table exploded with excitement. Everyone talking at once. Hugging, celebrating. Gloria sat back and watched them, her heart full to bursting. 3 weeks later, Gloria sat on a stage across from Oprah Winfrey. The studio was packed. Cameras pointed at them from every angle. Millions of people were watching live. "Gloria," Oprah said, leaning forward with that famous intensity, "when you heard that baby crying in the trash room, what went through your mind?" Gloria thought about the question. She had been asked it 100 times by reporters, by lawyers, by friends. But somehow, sitting here with Oprah, the answer felt different. "I thought about my daughter," Gloria said. "She died 3 years ago from an overdose, and I always wondered if someone could have saved her, if someone had heard her crying in the darkness of her addiction and reached out to help. Maybe things would have been different." Oprah's eyes glistened. "So when you heard that baby, I heard my daughter, I heard every person who ever cried out for help and was ignored. And I knew I couldn't walk away. I couldn't let another life slip through the cracks while I stood there doing nothing." You've said that you were invisible for most of your life. What does it feel like now to be seen by the whole world? Gloria smiled softly. "Honestly, it feels strange. I'm still getting used to it. But I'll tell you what I've learned. Being invisible wasn't about other people not seeing me. It was about me not seeing myself. I had convinced myself that I didn't matter, that my life didn't have value, that I was just here to clean up other people's messes and then disappear." She paused, gathering her thoughts. "But that night in the trash room, I realized something. My life matters. My choices matter. The small acts of courage and kindness that nobody sees, they matter. And once I understood that once I really believed it, I couldn't be invisible anymore. Not to myself, not to anyone." Oprah reached out and took Gloria's hand. "You didn't just save that baby, Gloria. You saved yourself. I think we saved each other." The interview continued for another hour. They talked about the case, about Destiny and Marcus Jr., about Jalen and the revelation of his paternity, about the long road to justice. Oprah brought out Destiny and the baby. She brought out Jalen. The audience cried. The world cried. When it was over, Oprah made an announcement. "Gloria, I've been so moved by your story that I want to do something special. The Oprah Winfrey Foundation is donating $1 million to establish the Gloria Jenkins Foundation, dedicated to helping vulnerable mothers and children. We're also providing a full college scholarship for your grandson Jalen to any school he wants to attend." Gloria's mouth fell open. She couldn't speak, couldn't process what she had just heard. Jalen jumped up from his seat, shouting with joy. Destiny burst into tears, clutching Marcus Jr. The audience was on its feet, cheering. Gloria finally found her voice. "I don't know what to say. This is too much." "It's not nearly enough," Oprah said. "You gave that baby a chance at life. You gave those women justice. You showed the world what courage looks like. This is just our way of saying thank you." Gloria hugged Oprah, crying, laughing, completely overwhelmed. Later that night, back home in Atlanta, Gloria sat on her porch with Jalen. The house was quiet. Destiny and Marcus Jr. had gone back to their apartment, a real apartment now, not a shelter paid for with the money Gloria had helped raise. "Grandma Kipper," Jalen said, "do you ever think about what would have happened if you'd walked away that night?" Gloria had thought about it, many times. That baby would have died, she said. Destiny would never have known what happened to her son. Marcus Whitmore would still be hurting women. Patricia Stone would still be stealing babies. And I would still be invisible, pushing my cleaning cart through empty hallways, wondering if my life meant anything. "But you didn't walk away." "No, baby, I didn't." Jalen leaned against her shoulder. "I want to be like you when I grow up. Not invisible, not afraid, just willing to help when someone needs it." Gloria put her arm around him. "You're already like that, baby. You've been like that since the day you were born. You got it from your mama. She was brave too, even when she was struggling. She loved you more than anything in this world." "I miss her." "I know, I miss her too, every single day." They sat in silence for a while, watching the stars appear in the night sky. "Grandma, yes, baby, thank you for saving that baby, for saving our family, for showing me what it means to be brave." Gloria kissed the top of his head. "Thank you for being my reason to fight. Everything I did for you." 1 year later, Gloria stood on a stage in downtown Atlanta. Behind her, a banner read, "Grand Opening the Gloria Jenkins Family Center." In front of her, a crowd of 300 people waited to hear her speak. The Family Center was her dream come to life, a place where vulnerable mothers could find shelter, support, and hope, where children could receive care and education, where families broken by poverty, addiction, and abuse could start to heal. The Oprah donation had been the seed, but the community had made it grow. Local businesses contributed. Churches held fundraisers. Ordinary people sent checks for $10, $20, whatever they could spare. The response had been overwhelming. Destiny stood in the crowd with Marcus Jr., now 18 months old, and toddling around on his own. Jalen was there, taller now, almost as tall as Gloria, wearing a proud smile. Detective Carter was there. Nurse Denise. Mrs. Patterson. So many people who had become family over the past year. Gloria stepped up to the microphone. 2 years ago, I was a cleaning lady working the night shift. I was invisible. I was forgotten. I was convinced that my life didn't matter. She looked out at the crowd, at the faces of people who had supported her, believed in her, loved her. Then I heard a baby crying in a trash can, and everything changed. She told the story one more time. The discovery, the hospital, the investigation, the threats, the trials, the justice, the unexpected family she had found along the way. "This center exists because of that baby," she said. "Because I couldn't walk away from his cry. Because I refused to let him die alone in the darkness, and because his story showed me something I had forgotten, that every life matters. Every person deserves someone who will fight for them. Every family deserves a chance to heal." She gestured to the building behind her. "This is a place of second chances, for mothers like Destiny who survived unimaginable trauma and found the strength to rebuild. For children like Marcus Jr., who was thrown away like trash but is now thriving because people chose to love him. For grandmothers like me who discovered that it's never too late to make a difference." Gloria felt tears running down her face, but she smiled through them. "I spent 54 years being invisible, but I was never really invisible. I was just waiting. Waiting for the moment when I would be called to act. Waiting for the chance to show the world who I really was." She looked at Jalen, her grandson, her heart. "Now I know the truth. We are all waiting for that moment. We are all capable of extraordinary courage. We just need to hear the cry in the darkness and refuse to walk away." Gloria took a deep breath. "My name is Gloria Jenkins. I am a grandmother, a survivor, and a fighter. I was invisible for most of my life, but I am not invisible anymore, and neither are you. None of us are invisible when we choose to see each other, when we choose to help each other, when we choose love over fear." She raised her hand toward the crowd. "This center is not about me. It's about all of us. It's about the community we build when we refuse to let the vulnerable suffer alone. It's about the families we create when we open our hearts to strangers. It's about the world we make when we believe that every life, every single life matters." The crowd cheered. Gloria stepped back from the microphone, overwhelmed by emotion. Destiny ran up to the stage, Marcus Jr. in her arms. She threw her free arm around Gloria and held her tight. "We did it," Destiny whispered. "We really did it." "We're just getting started," Gloria said. Jalen joined them on the stage, then Detective Carter, then Mrs. Patterson, then dozens of others surrounding Gloria in a circle of love and support. She looked at the faces around her, at the building that bore her name, at the future stretching out before her full of possibilities she had never imagined. 2 years ago she had been invisible. Now she was a light in the darkness, and she would never stop shining. That night, Gloria returned home to her quiet house. Jalen was at a friend's place for a sleepover. The television was off. The phone was silent. She sat in her favorite chair and looked around the room. Photos on the walls, her daughter as a baby, Jalen's school pictures, new additions now Destiny and Marcus Jr. at the hospital, the Oprah interview, the groundbreaking ceremony for the family center, a whole life documented in frames. Her phone buzzed, a text from Destiny. "Marcus Jr. took 3 steps on his own today. Wish you could have seen it. He's going to be running before we know it. Love you, Gloria. Thank you for everything." Gloria smiled and typed back, "Couldn't be prouder. That boy is a miracle. Love you too. Always." She put down the phone and closed her eyes. So much had changed. So much had been gained. So much had been lost and found and transformed. But one thing remained constant. One truth that had sustained her through every trial, every fear, every moment of doubt. Love was stronger than hate. Courage was stronger than fear. And one person, one ordinary person who refused to walk away, could change the world. Gloria Jenkins had heard a cry in the darkness, and she had answered. She opened her eyes and looked at the photo of her daughter on the wall. "I did it, baby," she whispered. "I made our lives mean something. I took all that pain and turned it into something beautiful, and I know wherever you are, you're proud of me." She could almost hear her daughter's voice, almost feel her presence in the room. "I'm so proud of you, Mama. I always was." Gloria wiped her eyes and smiled. The past was the past. The pain was real, but it had been transformed. The future was bright with possibility. And Gloria Jenkins, the cleaning lady who had saved a baby from a trash can, was finally completely at peace. She was not invisible anymore. She never would be again, because she had learned the most important lesson of all. Every person matters. Every life has value. Every cry in the darkness deserves an answer. And sometimes the heroes who change the world are not the rich or the powerful or the famous. Sometimes they are grandmothers who work night shifts and raise their grandsons alone and never give up hope. Sometimes they are cleaning ladies who hear a baby crying and refuse to walk away. Sometimes they are ordinary people who discover extraordinary courage in the moments that matter most. Gloria Jenkins was one of those people, and her story would be told for generations. Not because she was special, but because she proved that anyone can be. Anyone who hears the cry. Anyone who refuses to walk away. Anyone who chooses love over fear, courage over comfort, action over silence. That is the legacy of Gloria Jenkins. That is the truth she discovered in a trash room at 2:47 a.m. That is the light she carried into the darkness. And it will never ever go out.